Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and thanks for stopping by. Our dedicated team will guide you through with the latest updates and theories at Starbase, Texas. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for future streams.
9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
Zack, you're on mute.
Let's say Zack muted.
Oh, well, sorry about that. You can tell I haven't been on here for a few weeks, so good morning, everybody. My name is Zack Golden. Welcome to another Starbase Weekly live stream. Happy to be here with you all today. Like I was saying, it's been about, I think 3 weeks since the last time I was on the show, but yeah, got lots to cover today. Mauricio did 2 flyovers this week. The first one was on Tuesday, I believe, and then yesterday he did another surprise one. So I think for the most part we may stick to yesterday's flyover. We probably will reference some stuff from the Tuesday one if necessary. But I'll probably go even deeper into the ones from Tuesday on the Starbase Expanded show. And if you guys are members of the channel, which I see so many of you in the chat, then you should have access to both days flyovers if you want to go through some of the ones from Tuesday that we may or may not have a chance to get to today. So as we get into the show, we have Alex joining us today. Alex, thanks for being here.
Hello, all. Glad to be here. How are you doing, Zach? Been a while since I've been on. Yeah,
a little bit tired. I woke up early this morning to watch Formula One, but nice way to start the day, and especially after the beginning of the season starting with a lack of races. So it's nice to have so many back to back, but they are always on the days that we're doing these shows. So
and Yo-Yo Passing is back, so it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. We also have Ryan Weber joining us today. Ryan, thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure as always. It's been a while since I've been on too, so yeah. Oh, well, bringing the band back together, I guess. We'll have some fun.
So let's see.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be asking about stuff where it's like, wait, what are they talking about?
And I believe Indian Star will be doing questions and donations today.
I will. Don't worry, I'm here. I did the show and tell. I can tell you everything today.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Leave that mic on, Indy.
Yeah, it's an interesting week. We did have the first static fire test of Ship 40, so I guess we'll just go ahead and start there since that happened at Massey's. So SpaceX confusingly posted this footage from that, and not necessarily the footage as the confusing part, but the caption going with it. Full duration single engine static fire test of Starship. So this is new, not new in the way that a single engine test, but the fact that this is all that happened. So pretty interesting test to some degree. I'd actually posted about this the other day. I forgot to bring this up. But the test, basically from where the T0 time appeared to be, there was a 20-minute delay from when the actual test occurred. So I've had some conflicting thoughts on this. At first, given that they didn't do the 6-engine test, however, they did do a 6-engine igniter test.
What we think was an igniter, I'll go with that. At least
what it appeared to be. For a minute, I almost thought maybe something happened with the RVACs and they decided to abort the RVACs and just go with the single engine test, and that may have been what was going on in that 20-minute time period. However, the LOX load level kind of makes it clear that the single engine test was the plan from the beginning. So that's really odd because they just rolled it back, and basically their post makes it seem as if that was pretty much their entire plan, and almost like they're maybe not going to do a 6-engine test, but that would be crazy. We do have, I think, Ship 41 is
just left the bay.
Okay, so that's rolling out right now, and preparing to do a cryo test, and that's part of the reason that this would be crazy. I don't think this is really what happened here, but given that the cryo test stand is still configured for structural qualification testing instead of for ship cryo testing, they're basically sharing the static fire stand for both static fire testing and cryo tests. So I doubt this is what. I doubt that they, ended the testing campaign for 41 early so they could get 40 early so they could get 41 out here, because at this rate they could have easily done, another test the next day. Even the following day after that, which would be today.
I have an idea of what happened. I think
what's your thoughts?
I think the initial test, or whether it is an igniter or an aborted static fire attempt, on the 24th, I think it was. I think that was some kind of an abort, or during the ignite, either that was an aborted 6-engine, or that was a igniter test, and they saw stuff they did not like with some of the RVACs or some of the other sea levels. And they said, okay, well, 40's still out there. This engine's still good. Let's do the single engine test now. Let's do this special test that we want to do with it. 41's ready for cryo, so we'll bring 40 back, maybe swap engines, fix whatever's wrong with it, roll 41 out, do its cryo test campaign, and then swap them again while 40 gets fixed. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting. One of the things that I forgot to mention, I guess, about this that 20-minute hold is that it kind of seemed like they were simulating an in-space burn. Obviously, that is what single engine tests are for, but more accurately simulating it, because normally when they do these, they within a few minutes after closeout, they perform the static fire almost about the same timing as with the booster, as far as the timing between closeout and actual T0, which has always been kind of weird to me, because the ship doesn't when the Test Like You Fly video came out, like, my first thought was, are they really though? Because they've never tested the ship like they fly, ever. They do it, like I said, within a few minutes after closeout, which seems like just a normal T0 time, instead of waiting. So in my opinion, the 6-engine test should be, 2.5 minutes after closeout, and then the single engine test should be like 30 minutes after. So I really feel like the most accurate way of testing the ship as it flies is by allowing the propellant to warm up to the same level that it does in flight. There's also a possibility that they load the propellant warmer than they do during flight. But even that wouldn't make sense, because you still want it to start at its initial temperature and cool down to its second stage ignition temperature and the relight burn temperature, because all of those are very different. So yeah, very interesting to see that. I would be, if they do it again, I think that would kind of confirm that that's what they were doing, or maybe it was just a fluke. But do you guys have thoughts on that?
It could have been a mid-course correction burn kind of thing, because one of the ideas thrown around is, for going to orbit for the first time, is rather than the initial ascent burn to orbit, they do their suborbital trajectory to orbit, so they're already going for a splashdown in the Indian Ocean. Well, okay, after SECO, or first SECO, basically they check the ship out, make sure everything's good to go, engines are good, the ascent was good, no problems. Well, then at your apogee, which is 20 plus minutes into the mission, give or take, you fire up the engine again, prograde, and you do an apogee raising, you do a perigee raising burn. So you take your suborbital track and bring it into orbit. And then that's how you get into orbit with Starship. And then you stay in orbit however long you want. Then you can flip around, do a retrograde burn.
That's how you do every injection for orbit.
Well, I'd say, yeah. Well, a lot of times you do it. Well, when you do it for like Falcon 9 and others, your perigee's decently more in orbit than what Starship is. My point is that you're actually targeting far more suborbit before you actually do that burn.
It's still on, regardless, it's on ballistic trajectory unless they raise it. So what degree of a ballistic track it's still hitting Earth regardless. I
don't know. That's my only thought about what they were simming, because if they really wanted to sim an in-space burn like they have been, it'd be like 37 plus minutes into the mission.
If your tank's at saturation temperature, it doesn't matter if it's right after you load it or 2 hours of it sitting there boiling in the tank. It's still going to be the same temperature at that pressure. So that kind of gives you escape of, it doesn't matter. It's purely what temperature is the propellant's at when it's entering the turbo pumps.
All three of these are in chill down mode, it looks like, right? I think this one's frosted. It's difficult to tell.
Looks like it. The RVACs aren't.
I don't think the RVACs are, but they're also shielded. So I don't think you would be able to see the part where they're frosty anyways.
Oh yeah, actually, the top parts of the LOX pumps are shielded.
There are some vapors up here, but You know what's actually kind of cool about this, though, with it, even with it being a single engine, just how it smacks the aft section super hard when that ignites. Yeah, hopefully we'll find out more about that. Like I said, the posts from SpaceX was very confusing because they didn't really
vague.
acknowledge. Yeah, like it, and usually they do explain certain things like that. Like as far as maybe they don't tell us all the little details, but they do at least for the most part kind of explain the purpose of most odd tests that they do. So yeah, very, very interesting that they didn't this time. But yeah, so the pad in this image was being prepared for ship 41, which is on its way out there right now, I guess. And I don't think we've seen any changes over in this area.
Other than the full install of the permanent stairs, which finally, I think they tested the actuators like a night or two ago. I think, or Raptor Roost caught them extending and retracting on the aft ones at least with the right lighting. But other than that, there hasn't really been much going on.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Not much to talk about there. I suppose we'll kind of move over to the cryo testing area where we have some interesting updates with the nose cone jail. Sorry, I'm just looking for the best angle of it. So much stuff stacked up in that area that it's kind of hard to see it unless you're looking at it from the right angle. So this might be a good one to start with.
So we might need a
Kind
better
of.
name for it now because it's not really, I don't think it really is that anymore, but it might be testing that new nose cone. We'll see.
Mr.
Yeah,
Potato Head.
it's interesting to say the least. I actually maybe I should go with the top down one because it just we can kind of talk about everything at once instead of actually. Yeah, this is probably the worst angle of it. I felt like there was a better, just like top down. This is probably a good one to start with here. It's on the edge, but that works. Yeah, so these mystery frames that we had been seeing laying around for quite a while obviously are now installed on here. And then I don't know where these ones came from. They kind of appeared out of nowhere, but there's another basically perpendicular frame right here in the front. Yeah, as far as what they're about to test is, I guess, kind of up in the air because it looks like they're adding insulation onto the LOX landing tank for the booster, which suggests that they're preparing for more tests on this. But I mean, with the way that this is oriented right now, it almost, to me, kind of looks more like they're preparing for a ship. And one thing that we have seen is the new nose cone test article, or I guess it's not new. It's been under construction for quite a while. But they had this new nose cone. Do we even know which one this is? Is it like 46 or something?
There's we don't any number we give a nose cone at this point is pure guesswork.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't have headers. I don't think it did.
Are you sure about that?
Because those are COPV mounts.
Yeah, these are the COPV mounts. But I think up here you can.
Think there's a nose cone without headers. Just getting a few without headers. I was getting stuff. Look, it does.
Let's try to see if we could.
It's been a minute.
Sorry, my clicking is like all over the place. Yeah, so this is funny because when when Starship Gazer first posted this, everybody was thinking it was the HLS prototype.
Oh,
for
I don't know
reason.
why anyone ever thought that.
They're very skinny docking ports.
Yeah, an 18-inch docking port. Yeah.
That's
Well,
going to
you
be
could fit through it fairly easily. I mean, this is a standard 3-inch vacuum hose right here. So, I mean, it's
not once you put on the clamping mechanisms, that aperture is would constrict.
Yeah.
true. Yeah. And I mean, while I could fit through there, a large percentage of the people I see walking around Starbase probably couldn't. So, not the greatest access
Yeah.
hatch per se.
And on top of that, like I know I saw someone say it was a depot too. It's like, no, why would you put a 7-inch pipe flange on something for that? Like that, or what doesn't make sense. And that is clearly set up for some kind of actuator or something pass through alongside like data lines to go in for sensors and whatnot.
And gas.
bottom?
It's a
Yeah.
classic. It's the same thing they did. What is that on 18? Whatever's in the Super
Eight.
Crusher.
18.3 is in the Super Crusher,
Yeah.
and 18.1, which used to be in the Super Crusher.
Yeah, but
I
where
wonder
they
if I can.
Oh, it does have
Sorry.
headers. Never mind. Okay. I was trying
Yeah,
to
I
find a
wonder if I
picture of it
can-
without it, so. Yeah.
I'm going to attempt to
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, it does
increase
have
the.
It's,
contrast.
Let's see if I can mess with the exposure on this a little bit, so we can look into here.
so I've lost track of which nose cones are which and which ones have headers these days. There's so many of them.
Why isn't the toolbar up here?
That's right. The one without headers is the tile test cone. They're doing some fun things on.
The one with the
What?
pins.
Yeah, one with the pins on the tip and what looks like possibly square tiles.
This app got an update, and I don't know how to use it. But this is probably a cool slider if I knew how to actually make it do something.
Is it a floating palette that is on a different screen?
Oh, wow. Good job, Alex.
I just updated mine and was swearing about it. So,
This is pretty cool, though. I like this. Because this is something I would do in DaVinci in order to show something. But yeah, looking in here, I guess we can't see all that well. Maybe I can mess with shadows.
You can kind of see some
But
stuff in
I
there.
do think it's just a kind of a enclosure with a back on here, and there's probably a mounting point, like a clevis bracket for some sort of actuator. Maybe.
they'll probably put bellows in there if I were guessing.
Yeah. They're gonna test a bunch of stuff on a nose cone and whatever it's on, which we don't really know what it's on right now. It could be a simulated payload bay, it could be anything. Because it's
Yeah.
higher. So they're fully this is the first time they're putting a nose cone through its paces since like I don't even know. I think it was nose cone 12 when they actually used the jail for the first time. They haven't like truly tested a nose cone in years.
Yeah, it's weird. I was talking to Nick, or aka Chameleon Circuit, the other day about this. It's strange because it's almost like they don't have to test certain aspects of the ship unless they're planning to fly over land or something like that. Like it seems like the testing for the boosters have been more rigorous because of the fact that they returned to the launch site, and now they're kind of getting close to that point with the ship, and so they're having to qualify it in ways that they didn't necessarily have to do before or chose not to. So it's weird that we're only just now finally seeing, because they completely skipped the Block 2 ships. Actually, I think you're right. I think Nose Cone 12 was the last one, so they skipped basically 2 generations of ships. In
biggest
structural
change-
qualification testing.
The biggest change they ever made to the nose cone was Block 1 to 2. when they completely changed the internal stringer design. They changed the header tank setup slightly, the actuator setup, COPV setup. They changed just about everything about that nose cone, and they didn't test any of it, which was like, okay. And now here we are, and they're going to test it. So
Yeah, certainly strange. It's going to be curious to see what's going on with this, but they do have obviously the header tanks in there, and then the COP. Wait, we think the header tanks are in there. In my opinion, wouldn't make sense if they're not, because I'm assuming.
yeah, they are. It's got its header tanks.
Yeah, like whatever is on the other side of this is probably meant to somehow test those the header tanks, possibly. But if we look at the if we look at the base plate on that test stand, I guess that kind of draws into question again whether this is actually the nose cone test coming up or if it's something else. Sorry, the header tank.
I have this feeling, no, the nose cone is not going to go in there. I think that bracing is to do more stuff to the LOX landing tank because the base is still set up for that. And maybe they're actually going to crush the LOX landing tank this time around, and maybe they're going to do some more with it. And maybe they're modding for this for something else. I honestly think that nose cone is going to go in the crusher. Not that it's going to get crushed, but that has way more of an ability to set up actuators in different areas to put forces on different locations. It'll take a reconfigure, but it's not like I haven't done that before. But I think it'll go in the crusher.
How long ago did they add these cross beams? Do we know?
Thought those were recent.
Okay, yeah, because they look.
Yeah,
I'm
not sure though. It's
this whole test structure is hilarious though because of the fact that they almost might as well have just built an entire new one as far as the cage goes. So it's just like heavily modified, and we also know that there's this other component right here that's going on top of it. So this is have they installed this yet?
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so it's now on there. Yeah, and there's components on this, brackets on here for possibly actuators to attach to?
Correct. Yeah, there's about 4 of them, and none of the symmetry lines up to what the mods they've done to the frame, where they put the reaction frames on the.
It's really weird. Yeah. Because the other part is that nose cone is probably sitting on some ring sections, and that there's not enough room in the old jail to put that in there and test it. There's not enough height. That's why I think it's going to go in the crusher. And because as we can see, as we'll see here shortly, looks like 18.3 is about to come out of that thing. So
that was a short campaign.
10 tests
compared to 17.
Well, it had 10 tests before. It had 10 tests before that, so it's got 20 total under its belt. It had 10 before they crushed its aft, and then they put a new aft on it, and then they did another 10. So it's got 20 total under its belt. So it's got more than any of the other test tanks.
It might get swap places. Was 18? Was that 18?
They started making modifications to this.
Which?
The Super Crusher.
They've been slowly doing some tweaks. There was some actuators around the aft that they added that were connected to last week, but I don't remember.
Yeah, they're no longer connected.
Down here.
Yeah, you can see one right below your cursor, I think.
You're talking about up here?
Yeah, there's some where they were connected, and now I can't see any of them. But that was last week.
I think
Yeah.
she's done. Done. I don't know though. We'll see.
I mean, they might use it for slap testing.
How?
Bolt the top to the squeeze arms to the hot stage truss, and then just lower the fake rails and squeeze that way. I mean, lift it out there and put it
here?
on. No, lift it out and put it onto. So I'm wondering, is that 18.3? Which is the one right below it? Yeah. Because they basically need another mount that they could just bolt the other one down to as a stand and then put the squeeze arms.
Oh, squeeze arms. I thought we were talking like they were gonna put it on the mount to do.
Oh, no. They'll not.
Let's
Hopefully.
You're talking about
I mean,
they would
yeah.
need an aft section added to it, or at least a faux aft section in order to put it onto the mount. I was like,
Right.
"Huh?" Yeah.
Yeah, no, but the bolt down structural base.
I mean, they might squeeze it. I wouldn't be surprised, but if you're gonna want to do that, you want to test that before Flight 14 at this rate. Which
Are these?
granted,
Have they
they
been
do
making
have time.
modifications to these?
They painted them.
Well, and they added the ends to it. That's what we noticed yesterday, that they welded some ends to those black things.
On this side or this side?
Close the side you're currently on. There's a rusted metal piece that was welded on.
They might squeeze those. I was wondering if they would squeeze 41, but if it's heading out now and they haven't put those on the truss tower, then I guess not. Unless they're going to install it on it while 41's out there.
And find a better angle of that, but I don't think I'm going to be successful. Actually, this is better. Are these pieces new?
On the,
No, those are what they bolt to the top of the tank. So that when they're
okay.
suspending those, yeah, it looks like they're going to add a frame to those probably so that you have a more square shape when they lower, so they don't lower them down independently, perhaps.
Yeah, it's I guess the one bad part about the fact that they have all this stuff in one location, as far as all these different test stands, is that it's really difficult to tell what's for what sometimes until it actually gets installed.
Well, as soon as those 3 nitrogen tanks get hauled off, they'll start to get a little more space here.
Yeah, which they're starting to. I mean, that can kind of put us into the fact that they're starting to plumb the 2 new big ones.
Yeah, they've been doing that for the last couple of weeks. I know some people were irritated that they're not using skids on these and they're doing them spoke, but
Yeah, that is strange. It's like the McGregor style here right now. Almost makes me think they're temporary, but I guess if they were temporary, then they would have even more reason to use those skids instead. But actually, are you sure there's not a skid down here?
a couple weeks ago, there's just the mounting plates on the ground and then they started adding all the pipeways on the pipeway stands.
Yeah, so this should they'll
Maybe they're too
basically
busy
tie
building.
into the old pump system for the LOX tanks.
Yeah, they'll probably switch it over to nitrogen pumps instead because it's been fully decoupled from the LOX slide.
Yeah, they'll just use the LOX pumps for the nitrogen and then just run the line back. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see them.
And then just
I'm
get rid
guessing
of all the old pumps and all the old tanks and that entire nitrogen area over there. Because they have been looking at the lift points for those 3 tanks, so I guess those will get lifted out by the 11K at some point.
Yeah, I'm guessing as soon as those ones are up and running, they'll be able to swap all this over. But I think we were probably at least another month away from that, maybe.
Yeah, there's a lot more stuff they got to run.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do at the front here once all of this is gone. I suppose spreading out the testing stations could be helpful, but
I wouldn't be surprised if either it's right next to the Super Crusher that's there, or they do it a little bit more off to the side. But right in there, I wouldn't be surprised if they dig it up and they build another Super Crusher. You could use a second one, truly, with what they're doing. And I know they're going to be testing more and more because they'll have to start validating all their different designs. So tanker, crude, cargo, HLS. Once Block 4 booster comes in, whatever changes you make to that. So another Super Crusher would certainly be helpful to be able to do two full vehicles at the same time. Rather than trying to reuse some of a stand that's from the 2021, which is the nose coach deal.
I mean, all they're doing essentially is just reusing the base, and they're adding the reaction frame for whatever test structural loads they're trying to impart in the test article. So why build a new base if you already have one?
And true. But I think they'll build another Super Crusher because this is the R&D area. This will be R&D for Starship for the rest of time. They're not going to build this stuff at the Cape. If they do a build at Massey's at Cape, it's just going to be booster ship cryo and ship static fire testing. That's all it's going to be. If you're going to test anything, you use the Star Factory here and this area to structurally test the new designer or something like that. That makes the most sense to me anyways. Centralize all your testing and structural validation.
Yeah, we're just looking to see what else is down in this area that we haven't mentioned. I guess by this, on the front there, the front of the site, there is new potential water tank going in. Not entirely sure what this is about, but they have poured the base for this. It looks very similar to the one that was for SN4 or BN2.
SN2, BN2, whatever it takes.
Something, one of them that got converted to a water tank. So this looks fairly similar to that right now. I doubt it's going to be I guess it could be a 9-meter tank since it's obviously,
it could make
a homemade tank is what I meant.
Yeah, why not?
I wonder if one of these will go on that.
That'd be hilarious.
I mean, considering the internals on what some of those have, I don't know if they would do those. It's not very efficient for a water tank, but who knows? There's a lot of stuff inside.
A good water tank. This one.
That has the least amount of stuff on the inside. Or you just
is there anything else laying around in Sanchez that might go here? No.
No tanks, no.
Yeah.
Just the remnants of B18, which is the forward.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to keep our eyes on that to see if there's anything strange that ends up moving out here in the next few weeks once this cures. Any questions from Massey's? I know we have a ton of donations that came in, so we should probably let Indy call those out.
Sure. I will start off with the donations. We want to thank Ulrich Mueller, who donated $10.90, and he says one less to the goal. We want to thank Martin for his £9 donation. He donated 3 different times and says choo-choo each time. We want to thank Scat for his £5 donation. We want to thank DegaCat, who donated $50 and said, I actually made the live event this week. Congrats to Indian Star. Incredible hosting yesterday. Thanks to RGV Aerial Photography for the surprise flight. And no, that is not my alternate, just so you know. And then we also want to thank Sharpie. We want to thank Sharpie for his $5 donation. And he says, refreshments for RGV heroes. Scat donated 10 pounds and says, all aboard, choo choo. Yazada donated $5 and says, more from Mauricio and Fred's coffee fund. And then Joe in Space donated $10 and said, we all need more coffee. And Space Washer donated $5 and says, couple of bucks to help out. Thanks for all the team does. And then I do have some questions for you guys. The first one is, when you guys were talking about the orbit and stuff, All for One had a question. He was asking about the deorbit itself. Should SpaceX plan an emergency solid motor system on ship that could safely deorbit ship if R3s suffer an admittedly deorbit ship if R3s suffer an admittedly unlikely complete failure? Weight might be an issue, of course.
No. Would you put a solid system on Centaur, on Merlin Stage 2, on any other stage I can even think of? You just make sure your engines work. You have six engines on there. If you have to light up the RVACs to deorbit, you have to light up the RVACs to deorbit. That is if you have prop in the main tanks, that is. But you have 3 sea levels. And if none of them work for deorbit, well, you shouldn't be in orbit. Let's put it that way. You shouldn't be sending your ships to orbit if all 3 of them don't work. That's what I would say.
Fair enough. We also want to thank Texas Big Red, who just donated $2 and then said, star insert whatever you are, because we're all enjoying the fact that everything at Starbase and Starship related has star in front of it. And he says, love you, Weber.
Thanks.
Dean Brilhart has a question. The special nose cone, could it be a tanker ship nose cone where the full payload section is now a LOX CH4 tank?
No. Special nose cone is for testing. That's what it's for. It's not for any variant at all.
Okay. Python Propulsion Tech is wondering, why is 18.1 still at Massey's? Maybe they attach its aft to 18.3 forward for slap testing.
That's a lot of cutting. Especially the
Wait,
internal.
which one were they asking about? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
No idea.
I think that's just there because they put it off to the side at one point, and now it's kind of stuck. They even if they wanted to right now, they can't get that stand out without moving the other stands. Like literally, it's stuck. So until they get rid of those LN2 tanks, they can't even get 18.1 out there, even if they wanted to right now, without like destroying and moving a bunch of other stuff.
fair enough. And Dagacat is wondering what slap testing is.
Slap testing is basically simulating what the chopsticks do. They kind of slap the ship and booster. So basically recreating that.
The loving embrace of the chopsticks welcome the vehicle home.
And that's it. All for the questions for Massey's for now. Thank you.
Alrighty. Yeah, I just discovered a new tool there that I'm probably going to be abusing.
I'm like, what is Zack doing?
Just deleting stuff.
I know what he's. Yes.
Like, I think I'm. You guys are gonna have to bear with me here because I'm gonna delete this booster. But let's talk about things in this area while I do that. So they did pour a new concrete pad over across this area right here, which it looks like they're going to be building out maybe the workstations for the Gigabay here.
Or they're moving the stand production, area from by the fence in Sanchez.
So they do have this. Oh, so this is for for constructing the ship transport stands, right?
That looks like the stands that they build for the factory.
It's art and painting time with Zach Ross.
It's going to take forever to fill in. I just realized it's probably a bad idea.
You need to make that paintbrush bigger.
Yeah, it does. It does look like that. This is going to be their new. They're trying to move stand production because I think they want to do something else over there, and they're setting up racks for all the parts. They're setting up the mounts for all this stuff. And then they brought in one of those mobile bridge cranes things that they got too. Yeah. So yeah, I think they're gonna move stand production back here. Which is kind of funny. It's like they made a lot of progress on that breakover, and then they just haven't really done much with it lately. But granted, it's not like they need have a booster to even move to the Cape anytime soon. So, and the Cape's not even ready for one, for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, but they're definitely getting closer to that, I would say.
Well, yeah. As time goes by, you're definitely getting closer. It's just they're still a couple months out, as far as I can tell.
This is interesting, though, the little mobile bridge crane thing, because, I mean, they have so many mobile cranes around. It's weird that they would even have a need for this.
Would that be for the stands, you think?
I think it's for building the girders for the bridge cranes for the gigabase.
Yeah, because that's coming up soon.
Sooner than you think, but yeah.
Well, yeah, it's going to be pretty soon because once the 7th level is, I mean, nearly done. You start getting, especially once you start getting those the roof trusses in. Well, get the bridge cranes in, get them in, and get them in as quick as you can. Why not?
Uh-oh.
Brian Aries in chat said that's the most action that ship has seen in a long time.
I think I permanently ruined this image.
Control Z, Control Z.
Did you really ruin it?
Yeah.
That is the most action that ship has seen. Like that ship, I cannot wait until they catch a ship and then have that, and then they scrap 20. I'm serious. I cannot wait till that ship is scrapped. It's such a pile of junk.
They'll scrap 42 by mistake.
As far as the workstations go, they have been piling up these. These are the basically components for the Gigabay workstations, apparently. I think this is probably only just one work stand right here. Maybe two. Curious, what do you guys think will be first, ship stand or a booster?
Booster.
They'll
get booster site up operational, then they'll decommission Mega Bay 1. And then they'll get ship site up operational, and then they'll decommission Mega Bay 2. Because it's going to take a while to take even one of those Mega Bays down. We saw how long it took the High Bay. There's a decent amount more steel in those Mega Bays, plus the concreted top floor. I'm with Alex. I want them to just topple the thing over, but SpaceX doesn't like to have fun. So
they did at Vandy.
They did at Vandy. They did. Which EJ's reaction to that is still priceless. To see as they knock down the shuttle hardware. I understand it though, because it would have been really cool to actually see that used for a shuttle launch, but here we are. Challenger.
I'm going to move us back over to the other side over here because Alex wasn't on show and tell last night, so curious his thoughts on this. But over near the ground fab building, there are some weird new manifolds being constructed.
A supersized hot rod.
Yeah, that's what it looks like for sure. I'm almost afraid of what it's actually going to be used for, because the only ideas I have are related to the cannon vents that are the ones that we hate at the launch site. Can't find. I think this might be it. It's a good one. Yeah, so certainly strange. I'm guessing it's this is related to these because you have two.
They're a collection for a tank where they're just grabbing 3 outlets and merging them down to one.
You think they're the collection tanks that they brought in?
If you look at any of the fronts of the new methane tanks, they're taking 3 outlets and down and running them into one. They're doing that with the nitrogen tank at Massey's. They did the exact same thing. If you we're looking at the wrong, unfortunately, it's the wrong side of the tanks.
Where did my thumbnails go? Oh, that's super annoying.
There's a always on, I thought, for thumbnails.
Yeah, and there's a
hide thumbnails. They're so well hidden. They're already.
There we go. There's a keyboard shortcut, and I guess with the update, it's not working. Like, I didn't even approve this update, by the way, so I don't know how that happened. What am I looking for?
It might be easier to look. Yeah, it's the front end. They're that one is a little different, but they're gathering up a couple of outlets. The methane ones at the launch site are really apparent, where they're gathering up.
Like this.
Yeah, like that. Essentially, just like that. That's what I think those things are. Nothing exciting.
That's super boring.
Yep. Hey, that's what I'm here for.
To make things boring.
Yeah, I preferred the hot rod, but no such luck.
Yeah. So these would be for the launch site then?
Yeah, probably those 2 new tanks that are sitting there at the port. If I there. Yep. Sorry.
Thought we're gonna have something fun to talk about there. Cool. Well, I guess moving over to the launch site, we've seen all this. There is some new pipes that have shown up for some reason. The profile of these is weird because it doesn't match these.
The ring for the Firex underneath the
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that kind of.
Sorry, full of boring.
Yeah,
they got a bunch of those are those pre-press lines in that 6 of them, 5 of them in a couple different packages there. Yeah, those.
These go inside the launch mount. I think.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so they're basically these are coming from likely, and they're just so advanced. Like this is the thing I was talking about with Blue Origin, as far as they're thinking that they're going to be flying again by the end of this year, which I actually do think they probably will. It's going to be ugly, but they probably will pull it off. But one thing they don't have is this ability to like basically, it's the launch mount is an IKEA set literally at this point. So they've reached that point where they've even have packaging created for these components.
Well, I mean, heck, are those the main BGD hoses too that are just there now?
Probably.
Yeah, it's like they don't need those for months, and they're just here.
When we get to the pad, it is pure.
They are pre-assembling everything for this pad compared to the first 2. And we only got like those periodic updates with 39A, but that was still piece by piece. This and 37 are going to be, and any pad any launch pad they build after this is just going to be pre-assembled parts showing up, and then they just fit it all together. Yeah, like an IKEA set, and it should cut down on construction time a lot. As long as the parts arrive, because like not all the parts are there for the pad yet. So
not all the parts are here for the OLM.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to get the 4 corners and the other side to show up so they can actually get started on the mount.
I mean, they have one corner of the cape. Go on.
What is this symbol up here? That's not a B. That's like a German S.
That's the Option or the Alt key.
No, this one.
Oh. Bitcoin?
Is this German?
Beta?
Sure looks like the German
beta
way.
on the keyboard. because the original shortcut was S, Control S. So I feel like that's a German S.
Scheiße.
Okay, sorry. I'm so annoyed right now because it's just like this actually used to happen to me all the time where I would update specifically OBS before live streams, and it would just I haven't even used OBS in like a year and a half now because of what it did to me during a live stream. But yeah, gotta love or hate new features. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, tons of components down here. I don't know if there's any other new stuff as far as they do have another. It was kind of clear a few weeks ago that this was happening, but now we can see the other parts of this where the apex manifold. What? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so they are in fact building two of them. So the one for 37 is being built here right now. I'm guessing.
I think it's just they have the crews that are familiar with building it, so you might as well just build it where the crews are. Since you already got to build the one for pad 1, you might as well do them both at the same time, right?
And they built 39s here as well, so
Yeah, you just build them all here since the crews are here and they know what they're doing, rather than moving them around all the time. And you've got all the components and tooling and everything here, so just build them and send them off. It's not like those are hard to truck. Those are easy to truck around compared to everything else.
hey, they got a
I'm
barge.
guessing this first one will probably go to 37 because that probably needs it earlier than pad 1 does.
I was about to say, yeah, they do have a barge too. Yeah, that they can chuck parts on and whatnot that they need to.
It'd be some days will be.
That would be quicker for trucking though.
Oh yeah,
It'd be way quicker to truck it, but then again, it's not really like it'd be time sensitive or anything.
And there's two more
I did
parts for
notice
the Apex as well.
Are these launch mount related? This almost looked like the skirt that goes on the bottom side of the launch mount.
I was thinking that, or they're painted white. So now I'm on the fence if they're going to be for the stacking cells.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
actually.
those might be Gigabit related.
And they're
What are these?
Good question.
Yeah. Cladding.
Strange.
There's finally starting to clad
Lots of
again.
objects to get distracted by.
Yeah. Shiny.
Ooh, shiny. Oops, candy.
Is there more stuff down in that area that I skipped over?
Not really? I mean, that transfer stand's almost done again.
Yeah.
This valve is still here. I think this valve right here is for
There.
right here. I hope.
Yeah. That would be nice.
With whatever they're gonna hook into that.
It won't happen until pad 1 is finished, I have a feeling. Because they're not gonna willingly accept any delays right now.
They're only doing what they're doing to pad B right now because they have the downtime. Because 20 hasn't been ready for a while. So which it looks like it might be close. I still think it's gonna be at least another week, but we'll see.
The good news is whatever is going to happen with that line, we'll probably figure it out before it actually happens. Because
manifold show up or something.
Yeah, I think
we'll see it in the trench wall sections, which we'll get to when we get to the launch site, I guess. So they did make some more modifications to this area, which was weird. They removed the two methane tanks.
Yeah.
LNG tanks, basically, which is confusing because I thought that's how they were powering these. But I guess these are diesel tanks.
Yeah, I think they were probably dual fuel, so they could have taken.
So now they're just running diesel full time.
Yeah.
More efficient, I think, for these, anyways. Truthfully, so.
Yeah, I think it's mainly for pollution control.
doing some power stuff too. I mean, they're going to need a lot more power.
And plumbing.
Yeah.
Well,
There's-
these are primarily for. I thought they were charging these, using them to charge these, but that's way too much just for that. So it
I
is
mean,
a
it's
bit
extra
curious. But
power to the grid, right? It's just kind of it's not exactly a backup because that's nowhere near enough for a backup, but kind of supplements, right?
I don't
Yeah,
think the water treatment facility doesn't use power on that level, right? So
No, and how much cooling's on the board cube? I haven't.
the what?
The
The Starlink building.
Oh,
yeah, no, that doesn't. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
but this has its own generator over here.
Yeah, no, I was saying, yeah, it doesn't have enough cooling to require that much either.
I was gonna say maybe that's to help supplement the Starlink building, the battery packs, the water treatment plant, the water tanks, plus the gas generation that they've got for the entire site. You know, the gas generation for the welding and all that other jazz. And then maybe
The what?
the right next to where the water tanks are, the vaporizer area.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was.
Yeah, that. Well, I mean, they're generating gas. That's kind of why I call it gas generation. But anyways, and then maybe just helping supply power to Sanchez as a general. I don't know. Maybe so they can. Maybe it's just so they can try to keep the rest of the production site plus the launch site on the actual main line, so they can use as much of that power as possible. Because we know they're going to all especially start running into power problems once they try to bring the other pad and the ASU online and the methane liquefaction online that they're going to have to do here too. So like their power requirements are about to increase exponentially.
Someone says my audio's getting choppy.
It's like
Trying
speeding
to
up
look at
and
my-
slowing down.
It tends to do that from time to time, usually with you.
It sounds like Discord is compensating for.
Is this my? You know what happened? I was the first one to hop in the studio again. So stupid. What do I do? Can I get out and get back in?
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Oh no!
Screen will be back in a second, guys.
Nobody
All right.
freak out.
There
I'm
we go.
freaking.
Hopefully this is
Deep
better.
breaths.
I always forget because I'm just so fast with switching over. Every time you're like, it's time to go, and I just like leave before you even finish your sentence.
It's all your fault.
I guess I'll stop doing that in the future. Hopefully it's better now.
Look, Matt, it's not your fault. One time.
It's Indy's fault though.
No, Zach just said it's his fault.
I
Yeah,
don't believe him.
but it's still me in a roundabout kind of way.
Yeah, I can't tell if this is any better, but we'll see.
It is. It is.
It is.
It is.
Cool. Learning the same lessons over and over again. So what else do we have in Sanchez?
It's been a couple weeks, Zach. Give yourself.
We've already talked about this stuff over here.
The Pez box is almost done.
Yeah, have they put any of the stuff on the inside? Are these ramps related to this?
Yes.
Or are these probably
The roof. I thought so. I
And they
thought
have put stuff on the inside.
they
And
did, or they
covered the
did.
door. They did. You can see those little metal things there. And there's another photo that looks on the right side of it. You can see like a little door thing. Door hinge, door jam, door thingy.
Door
Those-
thing, thingamajig.
Yeah, you know, the technical term.
Who's he? What's it?
That's correct.
Those giant squares are multiplying.
so as it's a garage door opener here.
Literally,
Oh my God. It is.
literally,
Yeah, literally.
a garage door.
That's how all their stuff is.
They went to Home Depot. They
Days
didn't
are
even
like
get
that too.
a roll
like,
top.
like it's not even. They're not even trying. Like, just look how obvious it is. It's a garage.
Why is that bad though? If it works,
Yes, it does work, but
okay.
it's also hilarious.
Stop there.
It's
It is
also
hilarious. But it's good. I think if it works, it works. Like why create this Yeah. Why reinvent the wheel?
Because you can make it 30% rounder.
Yeah.
Why does this have
Can you
sloped
though?
roofs though? That's confusing.
Reasons.
The other one has sloped roof too. The one in front of the Mega Bay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever noticed that, but
More natural lighting.
So it drains. A flat roof. You need a little bit. No, I have no idea.
I'm gonna have to spend a
tried-
day with this new
tried to
update
come
because
up
it's
with a
really
reason, and
making me
failed.
mad right now.
Yes.
Like it zooms when I click. That's so stupid. I don't need that. Every time I click, it's. Anyways, what else do we got over here? Like this situation is making me want to leave Sanchez because I'm hoping it'll improve when I do.
I don't think
won't,
there's
but-
much else in Sanchez. I mean, the cladding's getting built up for the Gigabay if we want to just go straight to that. Or we could go to or you could pop over to the ring yard real quick if you want to. But
Yeah, they are getting back up and running with this.
the crane.
We got a new tent down here. Not really sure what it's going to be for, but they got tents all over the place, so not surprising to see another one.
And
Probably a
somewhere
paint
around
shop.
here, somewhere in Sanchez, there's a big tee box that we think there might be a wrap vac in. Vacuum Raptor.
I'm guessing that would be closer to the bays. This one, I'm guessing it's probably going to be more in.
That they're peaking between 1 and 2. I don't know.
It's like we can see it from way up here. I'm guessing. Kind of.
We've also had a good bit of work around the power generation building.
Are you talking about this?
Mm-hmm. There were 2 big tanks down in that bottom
Oh, yeah, we already-
corner that
yeah.
got removed, and
I already talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah, you must have left for a few minutes.
You
Sorry,
pay attention there, Matt?
I'm still not here from yesterday.
You pay attention there, Matt? Like what?
Indy, do we have questions from Sanchez before I move us to the build site?
Yes, we do. Scat's wondering, is there another cladding crane, the yellow one, in the cladding area?
Perhaps. It's right there.
This one? Whoa, Jesus! I did not realize they.
Yeah, they
Okay,
stuck.
I mean that makes sense because they don't want to move if they don't have to.
Yeah, they snuck
That's
in
crazy.
1300.
Yeah.
That's a nice little tight fit in there for sure.
I think it moved around too. It went in between those two, so it's been there, but it just moved around.
It just showed up last week, I thought.
Yeah, they made
Something
a
like
lot
that,
of
yeah.
progress on this side, pretty much from here.
I think
From
they're
here up.
trying to just finish that side right there until the 7th level, and then it'll go around and do. I think it'll do one side at a time with the little bit of room that they've got. So maybe it might do the parking lot side next, and then maybe goes to the Star Factory side. Then it goes to the Highway 4 side. As they build level 7, and then it'll go around and do level 7. Because with the tight fit there, it's kind of dumb. It would be kind of dumb just to kind of move that thing around in a circle like they did when they originally did the cladding. Might as well just finish
Yeah.
one side as a whole. There's no reason not to.
I was trying to look at that other side, but I don't think I can see it.
Making good progress on the other stuff, though. I think they're concreting past level 5 right now. Yeah, they're concreting 5. and they're about to do.
Yeah, this
They're
looks like they
setting up
just finished this.
They're setting up steel for 6, and of course they're building 7. So
Yeah, we can see this is
with
now the top of the structure. They have the this is basically the penthouse level right here. So you can see the first starter beams, I guess, for the trusses that go across here. And I guess this is the like parapet wall for the top of the building. I'd wonder if they're going to allow access up there with the wall that big. It almost seems like they will,
I would
which
assume
would
that
be
the
pretty cool.
stairwells go all the way up to the top. I don't know if the elevators will, but stairways probably will.
That would
BJ
be the
was
new
referring to it
ultimate
as the
place to watch the launch
penthouse.
from.
Yeah.
The
He was
penthouse.
calling it the penthouse, so that makes me believe that they will be able to go up there.
Well, that's the level right below the roof. I mean, I think Zack was talking about being on the roof behind the parapet wall.
Yeah,
Oh,
being on the roof up here.
I don't know how much they would do in the because the penthouse level is the roof truss level. I don't know how much they would do up there because right below the roof truss is the bridge crane. It'll be
Yeah,
the
but
transport bridge crane. So
that's the exact same way that Mega Bay 2 was built. You have the roof the trusses are visible when you're inside that space.
Yeah, and they don't have that parapet on any of the other structures. Is this? Oh, this is going to be interesting. If this is going to be a flat roof too, that would be
based off
very
of Roberts
interesting.
Road, yeah, it's a fully flat roof. The only holes in it are the I think some of the stairwells and the elevators. As far as I know, it's completely flat roof. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be flat till they put the foam down for the sloping, the drainage, and the guffers.
And did we see them install the drainage pipes? Like, are they all on one side of the building? Because I would imagine that they maybe would even run the drainage down through these columns, each of these columns. But I guess
They haven't installed it yet. On the apartment, I mean, on the parking structure side, there's equipment chases, so between the floors, and yeah, I'm sure the drains are all going to be interior.
Pretty cool looking at it from the top down. We can see the preparations for the bridge cranes. Too bad BJ's not here because he would be able to explain this. But apparently they have something going on over here for some sort of crane type device that will lift the actual bridge cranes up. I don't know if he actually figured out what that will actually look like, but you can see those basically these double these beams right here on each side.
The idea last I talked to him was to use winches like a aircraft carrier's side elevator would be to pull up the bridge crane and line it up and basically then line it up with the rail and then set it on the rail. It's kind of a way he was kind of thinking. He was I think he tried to look up to see if it had done before. I don't think he had any luck with it, but I don't know if he's seen anything recently. But that's the last time I talked to him. That was the idea. So you would set winches up there basically, and it would pull the bridge crane rails, the actual bridge crane itself up, and then it would get set on the rails there, and that's how you would do it, basically.
Not saying this is how
bring in a crane.
Not saying this is how they're doing it, but I'll put something. If you go on Mammoot's site, they have tons of how they do their heavy lifts. And
they have examples of it?
Not for bridge cranes, but they have one where if you go to their shipyard stuff, they're just using whatchamacallit jacks, cable jacks, where you just kind of have a sort of like when you're tensioning the tendons and stuff. It's a similar concept. But I put it in Patreon Lounge of them lifting a ship. I'm sure it's going to be a similar concept of that.
Let's see if I can pull that up really quick.
But this is a common problem that
But
you just have those jacks on top and the cables going, and you just on the very top of the crossbeam.
yeah,
know,
so you're basically saying that these.
No, the cables. See, it's the cables. Follow.
Yeah, I see the cables.
Yeah, the red jacks on top, where they're sitting on the cross member. Yeah, that's all they're probably going to be using. That very top piece where you have the red cable jack on top on that crossbeam.
But but this is on the same level as the bridge crane rail.
It's above it. It's above the rail. It's right below.
Slightly above the rail.
Yeah, it just has to be pull it straight up to the bottom of that, and there's clearance for the rail where it sits on it.
So, do you think there'll be 4 of these in total, or are these
one on each side? Yeah. Because also, it'll probably span across there. They're probably going to put like a temporary rail across there, and they're going to pull it, because if you look between those two columns, they don't have the rail and they don't have the hanger. The hanger gets the ledge that the bridge carrying rail sits on gets bolted into that column, and that it's missing currently. So you can lift the whole damn girder up and then shift it over. So it'll sort of be a temporary bridge crane of sorts, but just with the winches to jack up the cranes, the girder rails, and then slide them over.
Interesting to see.
I just hope there's no doors installed when they go to do this thing, because that would be a really, really cool lift operation to watch.
Yeah, probably
won't be able to see a ton, but I mean, I think at least we'll be able to see the full setup before they do it. Hopefully,
I don't know. We'll see. As soon as they got to the 7th level and they got far enough along, they instantly put a roof on it.
Yeah, they need the roof for structural rigidity of the building, and then to also remove all the temporary bracings they have.
Yeah, and the temporary bracings have to come out before you put a bridge crane in, I think. So,
yes,
unless you can thread it between it, but yeah,
you'll be able to. You'll just lift it straight up. One girder.
So I mean, when they do it, they'll have to lift it in this orientation and then rotate it once it's up.
No, they'll lift it just the same way as they're doing the roof, the roof trusses. The girder will be the full length.
They'll just lift it up straight through one of the between the work cells, basically.
Exactly, and then
but those rails are super long. How are they going to get the in between there like that?
They'll come in pieces and they'll weld them together inside the location.
Okay, so you don't think it'll be one super long beam going across?
It will be after it's welded. Because I think we saw them in pieces at the Cape. I think.
Okay.
One NSF's photographers got a shot.
Julia caught some of the gigantic. Those things are huge. Beams that go across.
Alrighty. Anything else Gigabay related, or hey, what's this crane doing?
Really, they're just getting closer and closer. Just hanging out, blocked off.
They have a couple cranes inside for moving around the steel when they unload it and position it.
That crane is in timeout right now. That's weird.
It's been a naughty crane.
Not as bad as Marvin.
That is a sad story. We'll just put it that way. Right
Marvin got sent to Detroit.
Wait, what?
No, just because somebody it looks like it's been stripped for parts.
Oh, gotcha.
Oakland. Yeah, there's a couple.
By the bays,
I
I
got
don't think there's
questions.
much for us to see in here. Kind of the same
Well,
views on the inside.
the stand right there, it went into the bay already.
This one.
Yeah, so that means that they're going to transfer 21's methane tank over. So 20 will have booster 21 finished within the next few days. At least finished stacking for that matter, which will be nice. It'll be 2 Block 3 boosters finished at the same time. It'll be good.
What?
Again. And then we'll see how long it takes him to build booster 22, which could be the first booster to fly out of the Cape if things go well. So
Crazy seeing how many scissor lifts they have in here.
they're going to build so many of those bays, it's going to be hilarious.
Okay. We did mention at the beginning of the show that ship 41 has left Mega Bay 2.
It's still in the
here.
ring yard.
So it should be going over to Massey's soon for cryo testing. And ship 40 is back in there, maybe getting modifications or maybe getting ready for flight, I guess, if they're not going to static fire it again, which would be very odd.
I do not see how you can justify to anybody, especially with you now being a public company, to not fully engine test your ship at this point in the program. That would be beyond idiotic to not do a full static fire. I mean, they even static fire every single new Falcon 9, and to not do that with a ship, you're asking for it to blow up at Seco.
Yes.
But you're
It would certainly not be a good look if things went wrong. That's for sure.
Because you didn't test it. You imagine the look. Yeah, that's not a good look. No, they're gonna test it. I think something went wrong and they need to change some stuff out, and they just decided to do a single-ended static fire because that engine was good and they were already out there. So I think that's what they did.
I don't think there's much else for us to talk about at the Star Factory, but I didn't look over here, so I'll just glance through it really quickly. Yeah, kind of boring.
Okay.
I guess I will go ahead and we can look at the village really quick. At least the rocket garden, alleged rocket garden. So it looks like they've started filling in between the walls to form their little stairs. They're gonna go in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to think of this building.
It's weird.
Think of a rest stop in Texas on the side of the interstate.
Yeah, this reminds me of like a motocross like ramp.
With
Nice.
barely any parking spots too. Like absolutely no parking.
Yeah, I'm not. I wonder again how many vehicles are going to actually be able to fit in here, especially when they take up the best spot to park vehicles with whatever this is.
I thought it was just strictly going to be for their display items, not like the proper rocket garden.
As far as I know, it's a proper rocket garden where you can actually see it as public.
Right.
As far as I understand.
But not
and like you can actually go in there and see it as public, as far as I understand.
I think he means more like they won't put vehicles in there.
Yeah, they won't put current flight vehicles in there, just mementos.
I don't know. As far as I know, they are.
Look at the curved entrance down here. That's weird.
That's the Pez
This
slot.
looks like almost like a restaurant.
Yeah, I don't know. As far as I know, ship and a booster are going there. I don't know how and what way, but I think as far as I know, the ship and a booster are going to be there somehow, some way. We'll find out.
Yeah, I suppose we'll have to wait and see on that. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and move us over to the launch site. Actually, do we have any questions from the build site, Indy?
We do, and we have one left over from Sanchez. For the Sanchez question, Craneman's wondering where at Sanchez will SpaceX assemble the deluge ramp for Pad A flame trench? Same spot as Pad B's?
Possibly if they don't move it to the launch site.
Yeah, we'll see. All the parts are there. Pretty much all, or almost all of them.
And don't have the pesky structural stand top.
I don't know if
Must
they
have.
have room to do it. And I mean, I guess they could do it right here, but that's not a ton of space.
That's where they built the previous one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was a lot more space.
They could clear it out. I mean, it's not like they haven't done that before. Or maybe, or they move all the parts over to the launch site and do it there.
Yeah.
Do it either.
That's what I'm thinking. They might end up doing. But it's weird that they're not dropping the stuff right at the launch site because they seem to have no problem doing that right now.
Yeah, I think if they were going to do it at the launch site, they would have moved everything there already. I just think they just haven't cleared out a spot and they're not starting it yet.
Or they'll build it right there by the where they're building all the stands.
Yeah, once that area gets cleared out, maybe. Which would be nice because then some of it might stick above that wall. So if they put it high enough.
Tropical Fish
Next
is wondering how long. Tropical Fish is wondering how long till Gigabay starts stacking a ship and booster.
I guess the better question is, I don't think it'll be stacking that happens there first. The first thing that'll happen is probably while it's still under construction, they'll use it to lay over a booster on a ship. That'll happen long before the workstations are actually active, I think. Because I'm pretty positive. Well, I guess that depends on if it requires 2 bridge cranes or not, or if it can be done with one. If it can be done with a single bridge crane, it might happen in the. Actually, is there enough space for that?
For what?
I'm guessing there is. To basically do it out front here, I don't think they can do that with the boosters.
No, there's not.
They could do it with the ships, but they can't do it with the boosters.
No, there's not enough room with the booster.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that will be the first thing that happens in there, and that'll probably determine how quickly we see I bet Pad 39A will be ready before they're able to get this to a point where they can do that first transport. So yeah, we'll see. They could do a booster though. They could move the booster into Megabay 2 and do it right here.
Mm-hmm. And getting it out could be, and then get it out through the Gigabay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to get it out through Remedios. That's not possible. You would have to go through you have to go through that transfer aisle in Gigabay to get it out.
Yeah, I think if you cleared out those stands, you can make that corner with SPM2s.
This corner is the hard one. Yeah.
Nate the Great is wondering. Oops.
Go ahead.
Nate the Great is wondering. Quick question. Once Gigabay is done, could both Megabays transport their stands into Gigabay, or do you think that they will make new stands?
I mean, if they did that, it would be the last, because there's 3 and 4 in here, so the very last stands that they build could be transferred over, but the first ones will be new ones.
Yeah, they kind of have to, otherwise they stop operations.
Yeah, the booster stands are all connected to each other, so imagine the design of that. Those work stands will change a little bit. The ship ones are kind of standalone, so theoretically those ones would be more likely to be transferred, but Yeah. I think we'll find out soon once they start building these which ones they're going to be doing first.
Right on. CMB Gaming is wondering, when they eventually build a second Gigabay, would they modify the first one to allow through access by full stack vehicles, or would they build the second one backwards?
I think it'll just be mirrored basically because there's no reason to move all the way through like that. The only problem with mirroring it is that actually, yeah, even if they I was going to say the only problem is that they would only be able to use this side for um, breaking over vehicles, but theoretically, once the vehicle is horizontal, they should be able to move all the way through if they needed to.
Okay, and Stephen Lewis is wondering, is B20 being modified based on B19 results, in your opinion?
Probably. But we don't know what those modifications look like. I mean, they could be mechanical or hardware related modifications or software. So, yeah, we'll have to wait till it comes out before we are able to determine that. But there's a chance we might see it sooner rather than later because it seems like they might possibly be preparing for a booster to come out at the launch site. I'm actually surprised they're ready for it, but yeah, we might see it soon.
And last but not least, we want to thank Perpetual Nerd for his $5 donation. And he says, thanks for the update. Chip in if you can. And Drew Nar just donated 10 Canadian dollars and says, fuel for Mauricio and Fred and coffee for the plane. Thank you guys so much for your donations. We genuinely appreciate it. And that's it for me for now.
Awesome. Well, in that case, I'll go ahead and move us over to the launch site. And we'll go ahead and start at the ASU where they have finished all of that conduit that they were installing down here. But other than that, I'm not sure. Well, not finished, but they finished at least in this area. So now they're doing the part that actually leaves the site. I'm not sure what else they've been doing over this last week, Alex.
Not mainly just pipeway work connecting the compressors to the water system. They haven't done any of the gas connections yet. But yeah, they're just working on how they're intaking the raw air essentially. And all the other fiddly connections inside. But yeah, there's not a lot of visible changes. I mean, they're installing the ventilation. So yeah, not too much.
Why does this need so much ventilation?
You have high pressure in case one of those compressors let go to basically vent the air out the top.
Instead of blowing the walls out like the
exactly
building at the launch site.
Exactly.
And with the cooling towers or whatever, they really don't seem to have made much progress on that.
There's a lot of connection work that happens on all these pre-configured skids. So the entire cooling chillers and pumps on calling that skid is kind of funny, but it technically is.
Is there a lot more components waiting to show up for this, you think?
There's a roof and the cooling towers that'll sit on top of, because this looks like it's going to be in a similar box as the compressors.
Right.
So yeah, and those are
looking at the embeds down here.
Exactly.
Cool. I guess not much more to say about the ASU for now. At the tank farm, we have been seeing some action over there. Okay, sorry, that's not the angle I was looking for. Maybe this one's a good one. So they did add in these two tanks, I think, in between now, or the last show and now. And they've got the methane skids out here for these as well too. And they don't have them for these ones, which is interesting. Especially considering, I guess they could just lift it over that wall pretty easily. I don't know
Yeah,
how they're rolling these in here.
I think they're
Trying to
craning them over. Because
Is there no
the
view showing that side? I don't think there is.
I'm gonna hold out hope that those rib ones are gonna go on the end, and they're gonna put the other ones there. I'm gonna hold that hope out, just even if it's like a 2% hope. I'm gonna hold hope because it looks
So
so
these ones are
bad.
probably going to be methane as well, right, Alex?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a non-zero chance they could make Webby happy and move the 4 other methane tanks to the area they haven't formed out the embeds for.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, obviously they can't stay there, so um, that would make sense. I mean, again, I really just want to see these ones gone.
Like, I think those are gonna go to 37. I don't know if either of you remember. I know I asked Alex this, but I think those are 1,000 cubic meters.
Might be bigger than that, actually. Because their diameter is significantly larger than
Yeah.
Do they hold more than these?
Yeah, those are 950s, the long ones.
Potentially they're the same if or slightly they're ballpark probably the same.
Because I did the math. If those are 1,000 and all the long ones are 950s, because the rib ones look about the same as well, with the length and width and diameter. Like, based off of that, and with a very basic CH4 density at like 1 atmosphere, so this is just ballpark numbers. Once all these are hooked in, not including the 2 new ones they're going to add, they have 4,000 metric tons of methane.
4 stacks or 3.
Well, that'd be about 3 because
Yeah, boil off.
the current stack probably uses another 13 to 1,400 metric tons of LOX right now.
No, I mean for the methane side.
Yeah. So
because they're getting once they have a liquefiers, they're going to have a lot of storage just because those don't like being throttled.
So, like, I say, if you have the launch cadence and you're bringing in 2 more longer horizontal ones, so 2 more 950s, is that what's at the port? Same ones, basically.
Within those 2 port tanks at the port are special. They're not quite the normal tanks.
But either way, I was thinking, if those 2 come in and those are about the same size as the other ones, or give or take, you're still getting around 4,000 metric tons, even if you take away the 2 large ones and you bring those to 37, which is going to need tanks, and the economy to get cryogenic tanks is not great. So you keep your 4,000 metric tons, give or take, and then 37 gets some capacity as well.
Yeah, these tanks have probably been on order for a while, but my speculation is the 4 existing methanes are going to move next to the 2s that they're adding. And yeah.
And then the 2 big ones go away.
Yeah, those 4 are just going to get, I think, lifted and shifted over after the next
what's
launch.
Weird? They only have, there's only 2, there's ports for these 2, but then there's a big one down here.
Right.
So it almost makes me wonder if it's going to be another combined manifold across here that these all feed into.
That's just legacy from the original setup. They haven't everything from that large inlet back was new. That's where they tied in the original one.
But they're probably gonna have to use this as a combined inlet for all of these, I'm guessing.
Or they
Or they're
or they manufacture a new pipe and swap it out again.
they're gonna probably just redo that entire pipeway.
Because like once you go ahead and you say move those 4 tanks over, and then you remove the 2 really big tanks, your methane is now actually it's actually pretty far outside the exhaust zone at that point. Once those 4 tanks move, you're in a much better position relative to where the exhaust is on pad 1. So yeah, because you see where the trench exit is. If they move those 4, I mean, you put up a blast wall, you're fine. I think at that point.
You remove the 4, you can leave the other two, the end 2, with a blast wall. They were fine for all the previous several launches, but yeah.
You know what sucks if they move these 4 over is that
They step back.
They'll
Yeah.
That'll be annoying.
Yeah. I mean, just look how much higher the 2 new LN2 tanks are compared to the rest of the run. That's just like, there you go. But like if they do that, you keep 4,000 tons of methane. They need more LOX. Like they need it, and more LN2, I think. I don't think they have the room for it.
They have ASUs that will can fill one of those a day. One of those LOX tanks a day. They're fine.
Yes, I think one of those LOX tanks it's like 1,100 metric tons for LOX each one of those tanks. I think.
Yeah, but I mean, their ASU can fill one of those almost a day, so I think they'll be fine.
So yeah, I think the more I look at it, the more it's like, all right, you move those 4 end ones over, you get rid of the 2 big ones, maybe not, and those go to 37, and then you've got, I think at that point you still have around 3,200 metric tons of methane if you don't bring in any more methane tanks, or whatever. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, they could theoretically convert 2 of the nitrogen tanks to LOX.
They could,
There's a lot of different things that could happen here.
I kind of need the LN2 too.
The ASU is going to be just pumping out LN2 as well.
Yeah, ridiculous amounts of it. More than they can use.
Yeah.
Either way, I think they'll have a nice setup once it's all said and done. I am the more and more I think about it, I don't think the methane farm will move at all. I don't know if it will. Is there enough room down there? I mean, I guess there is enough room for that line of 8 tanks. Even 10 if you bring it in, kind of.
Don't know how large their train's going to be for their purification.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that might end up being related to the purification rather than storage. So the methane tanks might stay where they are, just get rearranged so they're not in the way of the exhaust, and then that's it. Basically. As much as the ASU is right in the exhaust.
It's not really. It's pretty far away. The forces drop by the square of distance, so.
But I think that'll be the basically most of that expansion area is going to be a train for liquefaction for LNG. And then that'll get piped in, and then they'll have the ASU, they'll have the liquefaction for that. I guess there's going to be more water storage or whatever. Of course, then the deluge plus the switching, the isolation and purging for pad 1, and what we guess is another set of pumps and subcoolers if that's what they're doing. and that'll pretty well fill up all the room they have at that launch pad.
Yeah, I mean, my speculation is that the pad one's pumps and subcooling area is going to hopefully be primarily vacuum jacketed moving forward. But we'll
We
see.
can already see some is just insulated at the service structure, but
Well, it was everything on pad 2. Once it jumps into the propellant trench to the tower is all vacuum jacketed. So the hard pipe waves they did vacuum jacket. It's all the ones that are exposed that aren't. And they haven't made any effort yet to insulate. I know Zack and I have talked about this. When are they going to insulate the cryogenic lines and wrap them?
Yeah. You mean like all of the pretty much all of this?
Yes.
Yeah. It's strange.
Yeah, that's why I'm pretty sure. I'm hoping at least pad 1s, when they build their variation of this, will have a lot more vacuum jacketed and a lot less single wall.
Yeah, it's very strange how long that they haven't even started this. It's almost like they're expecting something to change, but like you would think at minimum the ones coming off of the pumps would be insulated by now, but they're not.
Yeah.
Well, I mean they're insulated, but not the final wrap. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's going to take forever too. Like it's going to be a massive job. So I'm surprised they're not doing that right now.
Yeah, they don't have most of their techniques they've tried previously don't survive one launch, though. So I can see why
they've tried wrapping lines before and it just gets ripped off by the launch.
Yeah,
that was with the exhaust plume passing through this area though, so hopefully that won't be a problem anymore.
True that.
And 37, it's not like the exhaust plume is going to be anywhere near it. So I'm hoping 37 is going to be like the pinnacle of Starship pads, where every single run is vacuum jacketed. Everything is, and it's the updated pads and all the little changes. Because as we'll get to, they've already got even more changes, as we can tell on the flame trench walls. But like, I'm just hoping 37 just looks amazing, and it's all vacuum jacketed and everything. Of course, we won't get close-up shots of it, but
we'll get the quick pan when they launch.
Right.
Say we'll rarely get. I don't know if we'll ever get a clear view of 37.
No.
Sadly, but it is what it is. I'm going to move us over to pad 1. Really quick mention though, the control bunker over here is completely gone now. I think they were already removing that last flyover, but now it's gone.
Last 2 weeks they've been removing it.
Wish they would have done that to the one down at the other farm as well. But,
that one's forever.
Steph's favorite building.
Well, the fact that they're repairing and putting a new wall in kind of screams what happened.
Yeah. So over at pad 1, we got some interesting stuff going on here. For one, they are pretty decent way into excavating the trench. They're certainly moving faster with that than they did at pad 2, but that's mostly because they don't have to drill all of those tiebacks. Really cool angle of this. I think more of a top-down one. I think this will show it. Nope.
Making good progress. Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Lots of extra concrete they have to dig up with all the extra piles and everything from the old pad. That's probably some fun.
So this is a cool angle. You can actually see the
original pad.
old launch mount legs down here. Not the legs. Well, I guess they are technically legs.
The pile.
1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know where this one is. I think it's right here.
Yeah.
Then
5
that's
and
6
6
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are the ones that they added in after.
After
one.
Yeah, look how close those all are together for the
all
plate.
of these are from the original.
All the single rebar ones are the original ones they had supporting. because there's 3 different size piles there.
Yeah, and then there was
Yeah.
like what large ones that they added. There were some large ones they added in when they went to add
These
the
are
plate
these are
in.
the ones the large ones that they added.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's ones they drilled and cast, and then the single rebar ones were the ones that they didn't anchor to them quite. The deck wasn't thick enough to the pile cap to take that loading. Oops.
Oh yeah, these are the original ones.
Yeah.
Original from what? Drilled in 2020, right?
Yeah. Yeah, those are the ones that they didn't anchor they didn't put a pile cap on, so as soon as the plume got underneath it, it lifted and excavated.
It did some excavation for them.
Yeah.
It's funny to see that pattern now, and then now it's all gonna get literally the entire thing will get just tied into the new floor. 41's on the move, by the way. Just
walking down there, it probably looks like a war zone. Just like walking through a trench defenses, basically.
Yeah, it can't be.
Oh, now I have an idea. You dig down enough with those and leave enough concrete, that'd be one heck of a paintball arena.
True.
Yeah. Let's be honest here. I mean, that's a decent amount of room down there.
Laser tag.
No.
Laser tag,
no.
paintball, airsoft. It doesn't matter. That's a lot of places to hide behind.
Airsoft, you can bounce off the concrete.
Oh. Ooh.
You
That
can
would
shoot
be
out
fun,
corners.
actually. Let's be honest. That would be fun. Now that I think about it. That's a large area, too.
Yeah.
So over here in the what is the basement of the bunker, they've started laying down the first. I think this is locks right here. Then methane lines, right?
Mhm.
Actually, methane is under here.
Yeah, the methane in the lock.
What?
It's methane in the locks, and it's if liquid vapor returns are. The methane one is under. That one's just sitting on top of it.
Yeah, but that doesn't belong here.
No, it's part of the vapor return line.
It goes under.
On the side adjacent to it is where they're going.
This one.
Yeah.
Because that vacuum jacketed line will come up right around there because that's where the skid for the locks is. Like right around in that wing.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, I thought it was over here though.
The locks, it pops up close to that pop-up tent. And then the main assembly heads over.
So is there another pipe under this one then?
Yeah, there's 2 pipes there. There's one on top.
Yeah, the two vacuum jacketed ones, and then the one that runs under, that's the methane one that'll pop up a little bit over there.
But what I'm saying is this line sandwiched in between these two? No,
it goes next to it. It goes adjacent to it. It's just that one they just sat there. I think it'll get welded onto one of them. Gotcha. Those might be the ends of the vacuum jacketed.
Oh, 41's more complete. Sorry, looking at the 41 rolling out. But
so looking over at the bunker, sorry, some of these are at interesting angles. They're still doing the flooring. I'm not sure if they're going to do concrete before they move it, but probably not. Hopefully not.
That adds a decent amount of weight. Not that the crane probably couldn't do it, but
yeah, I could certainly handle it. But they're definitely, once they get this in here, actually, I think they'll finish the rest of the cryo pipes first down there before they put the basement roof, I guess you can call it, and then followed by this. You can also see they have the A-frames for the flame deflector supports. I think there's one more down here off screen.
Yeah, that's just getting unloaded.
But more interestingly, we can see that they have started. Wait, hold on. Okay, This is trench covers, right? Okay, I thought that was cladding for a second. They have started assembling the wall sections for the trench, which is very interesting. This looks like I think this is 2 different levels here. So this
Yeah,
is the bottom, and then this goes on top of one of these.
The
think.
furthest one, closest to the ocean, is the top to the one that's next to it. And because there's another angle you can see in where they have the little half horseshoe where it gets bolted to where you can see where the bolt's base plate
Yeah,
is.
that was the thing that I was looking for. The like flanges or whatever on the bottom.
The
like-
flanges are on the inside now. But yeah, it's the middle
here.
one you can see. Yeah, those are the flanges where the bolts are getting bolted into.
So and this one. So this is not. So these are floor level. This goes on top of one of these.
Right.
Oh, matter of fact, this is like the 4th level.
Well, right where you're pointing is where they'll have the commodities go through, because it's different than everywhere else. If you notice, it's open. So, like for the pad 2 equipment to come through, that's where it'll go through.
No.
Well, I think if anything, this should be the
deluge is where.
no, that's a level above this. I'm pretty positive. Let me double check something really quick. Let's go ahead and pull up an older image. Let me see if I can.
Ship 41 is far more complete going to Massey's. It's got its raceway covers, its docking ports to look done. Ship 41 is going to be static fired before Booster 21 cryos at this rate. Seriously.
Yeah, unless there's a pass through between, which there probably is, and we never saw it, because that piece that we're looking at is right about the height of the basement. And these 2 walls that we're looking at are the walls that are on the whatchamacallit side. The bunker side of the trench.
The whatchamacallit side?
The bunker side of the trench.
I think I found what I was looking for. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Maybe they do go down there. Sorry, y'all. I really want to get this question answered, so. Yeah, okay, so I guess those are actually the supports for the ridge caps wall, apex wall, basically. So they go down the sides right there.
Yeah.
I thought those were higher up here, but I guess not.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I got lost for a second there. But yeah, pretty cool that they're doing that. I mean, so we'll basically see these entire sections lifted in at once. I do wonder if they may possibly end up actually stacking some of them out here. I don't really see a reason not to.
There's
Frank can take it. Yeah.
There's all the steels that they have piled up on the concrete pad next to the bunker. Yeah, right at the lower edge is a frame. I'm wondering if they're going to use to support those walls if they do weld them together.
Like install bracing on them, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, these look like this looks like a structure though.
They do have all the bolt holes, but yeah. But they also have, it looks like those little, I don't know what the little ears coming off where you could, because those might all bolt together and then they they tack them to the side, and then they have the arms coming out, the lateral supports. But
I assume those are all the embed bolts and plates for all the trench walls and the A-frames.
for a
And
while, I thought those were the embeds for the floor, for the plates, but they don't have the right patterns.
also, yeah, all the ones that are off to the side, a little bit closer to the.
Yeah,
Wow, these are
yeah, they changed the design completely. They
well.
bolt on the inside.
But beyond that, they sit up pretty high from the floor,
Yeah,
so they'll be like a foot in between. Is it like that on the other ones too?
yeah, it is. The other shot, I think, you need to see the sideways shot where you see the sort of.
Dang it!
The only one, that one on the right, you can sort of see it, but not on the bottom.
Yeah, I think there's a better one. There we go.
Yeah,
I wonder why they changed that. I wonder if they like had trouble getting the bolts in last time.
the bolts are in the hole down. They're no longer inside the. Don't have to have that little curve claddings that they had previously to protect. And now once they bolt it down, it's fully entombed in concrete.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, and we can see all those bolts here. These are like twice as long as the ones they used on pad 2.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
3
I mean,
times longer.
well, yeah, and they're prefabbing everything, so they're going to just lower these into the pile cap.
Yeah, those are for all for bolting down the A-frames, the flame trench walls, all that jazz.
Yeah, the
These are
A-frame.
the forms
Which-
for basically. I think so for the embeds.
Those are they put the bolts in. I think that's a stair step for the ramps. Where
I think is it 5 A-frames, right? It's 5?
Yeah.
So all of them are here. Okay.
Yeah.
And they're painted. They're not painted gray this time, too.
One of the other interesting things that are kind of down on the in this area, I think we probably maybe talked about it a few weeks ago. I didn't though. So they do have more cladding down here for the tower, which is really exciting. I've been hoping for years that they were going to do this, and it looks like they're getting close to it. I think these are probably going to go on pad 2, I hope.
No, I think those are replacements for Pad 1. Pad 1's cladding is trash and needs to get redone, and I think it's the redo cladding for Pad 1. I know people want and hope for the entire tower to get cladded, but I'm sorry, it'll never happen. Spoiler.
We'll see about that, buddy.
I will say it'll never happen. You say it'll happen. We'll see who's right in like a couple of years.
That's funny, Ryan. You're assuming they'll be done doing construction in a couple of years.
Okay. 20 years then. How about 20 years? 20 years? 50 years?
Right.
Yeah, I suppose it's possible that they may just be replacing the black ones, but yeah,
I mean, like everything on this tower needs to get replaced. Again, I will do my RGV Weekly thing of saying the tower should be knocked down and redone. I don't care if it's too late to do it. They should do it.
At this point, it's not really necessary.
And it's always necessary. I'm sorry. It's always necessary. I know Alex agrees with me.
$1 trillion laying around, you can do whatever you want.
I know Alex agrees with me that the tower shouldn't exist anymore, but here we are.
The best tower is no tower. Oh wait.
Yeah. They did remove the actuator off the SQD arm, and now it's being held in by some chain straps. I think they had to cut it out because it wouldn't come out, which is kind of funny. But what was odd is they were set up to remove the QD unit, and then they just stopped. Like they were rigging it up, and then they just gave up on it, and then didn't do it. I don't know what's going on, but it looked like they were all ready to remove the arm off the tower, and then they didn't.
But they were just lifting the front part of it, right?
It was literally just a QD unit. It wasn't even the entire front. They were rigging up to lift the QD unit out, and then they just abandoned it and never went back. So I don't know what they're doing.
Well, they can't be working in the trench when they're trying to lift that off. So maybe they're trying to get the piles cropped.
The umbilicals still look kind of connected, though. Let me look at this.
Yeah.
For what?
That showed it better. Like a lot of this electrical stuff looks like it's still connected.
It's cut at the elbow, like right there on the or the wrist, further down.
Oh, here.
Yeah, they sliced it. They could lift the entire. They could disconnect and lift all the parts out. It's just I don't know why they just haven't done it.
Yeah, that whole area right there where your cursor is by the tie rods, they've severed. So yeah.
Yeah, it almost doesn't make sense to just lift this when you could just take this whole arm off together.
Yeah, it was kind of odd that they were rigging up just the QD unit and not the whole thing.
Probably somebody said, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah, they still have that rigging down here somewhere.
Don't know. I'd have to try to find it.
Oh, hold on. I want to see if we can see holes in one of these. This right here looks like one of the. There should be a hole through this one, but there's not.
That's right where the. Yeah.
Mount. It's the mount one.
No, I think that's where the ridge divider is. Support.
At the ridge?
Searching through these is extremely difficult sometimes. Let's see.
There's the last and fifth A-frame right there on the truck still. At least in this shot. It got lifted out.
Yeah, I guess none of the other special pieces are here yet. Unless I'm just not seeing them.
I don't think any of the really, really special stuff has come in yet, but there's still a lot of differences with these walls compared to the old ones. The first round. Which, I mean, is not surprising. We expected them to make changes as they've built the first one and the second one. They're like, maybe we should do this differently. Kind of thing.
You hire
Are these for the tower?
I think those are for the basement. Because they've started installing all of those right at the front edge.
Okay.
Those are all the gas lines.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because right now they need to at least get started and get these walls started and do all this stuff. But at some point in time, they need to start work on those sticks again. Because like with how bare those chopsticks are, that's going to take several months to fix them. And considering also how old that carriage is, I would assume every single one of those skates is going to get swapped out. Like, that's going to take a long time. I am curious when they're going to start all that. And the internals to that tower. Because that's a lot of work. And that'll take months and months to do.
Hey guys,
Yeah,
wanted to jump in here real quick. I just wanted to correct one thing. So when they were hooked onto the end of the SQD arm, they were actually hooked up to the whole truss extension. It wasn't just the QD part
Oh.
itself. If you go back and you look, they were basically attached to the four corners. So they were probably going to lift it all as one, the end as one piece. But I think they might have run into a problem with some weight balancing. So maybe that's why they aborted.
Oh, but I don't know why. It did look like they were on the QD arm, but whatever. The QD unit. Never said I was right all the time.
Sorry, I saw a question in the chat asking if I remember something, but I don't see what I was remembering. Okay. Maybe his question will come in later. Yeah, I mean, when they first started all of this rework on Pad 1, I was surprised that they didn't just remove this, because putting the whole thing on the ground, I mean, they could have just brought in those red stands that they had this on and placed it somewhere so that they can work on this on the ground while everything else is going on, so they're not getting in the way of everything. And I suppose they still could, because right now,
Like put it on a concrete
the
pad off to
QD
the
could
side.
go here. Actually, the chopsticks would be better off going here, and the QD arm could go here theoretically.
Can you imagine if they put the red truss thing and then carried the sticks over there and placed them on that right near the edge, so we could all get up close to the looks of them fixing it? Can you imagine if we got that? Like, that'd be
Ryan,
awesome.
wake up. Ryan, wake up.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
Just looking at the profile of this to see if it's the same as that little pad that they just poured, but I don't think it is.
I could
Yeah, I
dream.
do wonder if we'll see something placed here, though. It's so funny the way they do the concrete here.
I think the QD arm will go on one of these. I do think it is kind of funny. It's like, why don't you just do the concrete everywhere that you can and not just these like small sections? It's just weird.
Daily limit.
Is there a reason why they're doing it this way? They just don't do a big, really big slab or a bunch of big slabs all at once just to concrete it all off, and they leave a bunch of dirt for no reason.
Probably just standard operations, because, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
It just looks hilarious, especially when
It's not,
it's not even like a square. It's like weird shapes.
I think there's probably electrical stuff that, or like things that'll still go underground that they don't want to cover it. Like, for example,
I guess, yeah, we don't have the
over,
entire site plan. That's true.
The what's it called? Next to Pad 2. I don't know if I can find that.
Yeah, they did that run of that all of that conduit off the retention pond all the way across.
Oh. Maybe this is a good one. Yeah, there's conduit going across right here. And it makes a random, I think it stops like right back here, maybe.
It goes the whole way to the triangle building now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they ran it all the way to the brake building. Yeah.
Why?
Don't know. Maybe they're cutting something, cutting electrics off and needed another run, and they decided that was the best way to do it. I don't know.
Probably when they took out the old power and comms building, they had to reroute the power, since they just probably de-energized that side of the site.
Interesting. So now that break room has to pull power all the way from over here. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's such a weird route too. Like, anyways, I guess we're kind of moving on to Pad 2 right now. They do appear to be getting ready for Booster 20, possibly. Either that or they're just done with whatever they were doing down here, which, we do want to reach that point where there's not just scaffolding, just to have scaffolding. I'm curious whether or not we will actually see Booster 20 within the next week or so. Mainly just given what's going on with this comms building down here. But I guess the question is what all truly was in this building. So we can see a trash can down here that's full of all this wiring that they stripped out of this building.
It's just
they
it's just
basically,
hilarious.
yeah, like I mean, everything in there was completely totaled. So they stripped everything out, and now they're preparing to build, I guess, a concrete wall on it, which I think they were already going to do anyways because they did the first half, like a few months before the launch, and then it seemed like they were going to come back and do this, but they just never got to it. So the question is, what all is in that building? And I think it was the tower controls. But I mean, I would imagine the launch mount stuff should be in there too. But on that same note, there is a huge, like server room basically at the bottom of this tower. So I do wonder how much of the tower's controls are actually in that building. I mean, it could mostly be that all the controls are in here, but the comms, basically the launch site-wide comms where everything connects to, is in here. But we don't necessarily know for sure. I do wonder though if this is a big item that's going to hold up the next launch though, is getting this re-outfitted. I imagine that it would, because if it wasn't crucial for launch operations, they would have just deleted it. So that'll be something to keep an eye on as far as delays go. What do you guys think? I mean, I feel like there's no way this isn't going to cause delays.
I think it'll cause issues. The one thing is also of note is the sticks, as far as I remember, have not moved up or down since the launch. They have moved only side to side, as they have done some work with of course, they swapped out the landing rails and the dampers, and it looks like
Well, they
that work
lowered
is.
them. They because they were stuck in the air for a few days, and then they brought them back down.
Well, yeah, they lowered them, but I mean, like since then, they have not moved up and down, as far as I remember. Unless someone
Yeah,
else
and I think that
I don't
move was
think
a
I've seen
manual move, basically, because they should have, like I said, that control building here, they should have been able to do it manually. So
So who knows if they're able to move up or down? I don't know.
probably not.
If they can't, then well, they're not putting a booster on this pad anytime soon. I do think it's funny that I see the scaffolding coming off the pad. Like most of the scaffolding's off the pad at this point, and everyone's screaming that Booster 20 is going to come out. I just want to say maybe they're just done with work, because this isn't pad 1 anymore. This isn't where scaffolding stays on 24/7. We saw that even before the last flight. When they didn't need to put scaffolding on, or when there wasn't a booster on the pad, they didn't immediately just go chuck scaffolding back on the pad. They only had it on there when they needed to work on something. I think they're done with whatever they needed to do. I think a top deck deluge test is going to happen soon, because they haven't done one since launch. After doing all those trench tests, I wouldn't be surprised to see a top deck one go off here in the next couple of days, or maybe a couple,
Not if
or
they
maybe
can't
they do
move
a
these.
couple of them.
Not if they can't
If
move
they
these.
if they can't move the sticks out of the way, then they won't do that either. But either way, I think they're just done with what they need to do. I don't think 20 will be out soon. They are still working on that new trench they put near the tower, so that's still getting work done on it. I just don't think 20 is close,
The
in my opinion.
the wall they're building along Highway 4 has to be poured before they'll do a static fire.
Yeah. Otherwise that 33 engine will literally knock all that rebar down with that amount of power. Also, if they're going to static fire, they have to take that scaffolding off of that wall there too. The Gateway to Mars wall that they put all that scaffolding on, that cannot stay there either. That'll literally get blown to pieces from a 33 engine.
What are you doing over there?
They're prepping for the real sign.
Yeah.
Because the other sign was temporary. You could tell where they drilled the electric connections, and its spacing was just slightly a quarter character off from.
Yeah, there's still a lot of work to do at the site before they static fire a booster. I think they're taking the scaffolding off because they finished everything that they wanted to do with the pad after that launch, which, I mean, it's been a month? a little over a month since the launch, and I think they were doing a lot of inspections, mods, and other things, which was not unexpected. But I am really curious to when they really get to launching. I want to see what the turnaround time for this pad is once they really get going and going. But of course, after the first one, I'm not surprised they took their time to look at everything.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's in good condition, though. We can have a good shot looking straight down on it. We were trying to see if there were new holes that were drilled in this, but I can't see any right now. We can see some on the apex, though.
A handful were drilled in the apex, in the corners, as far as I could tell.
I think they did a few on the tower corner for the plate. I think they did a few because there were a couple of guys up there like a couple days in a row, I think. But it's hard to see if they actually did it or not. But I think they did a few.
But now that I think about it, you can't see any holes other than down here. So these might actually be new.
I wouldn't be surprised if
I'd
a
have to
lot
go
of those
check.
were new. Yeah, maybe they were cleaned up and some new ones were drilled.
To go back and look at other images, those could be new. Actually, like you
Well,
see
they-
down here that these are really close together. These are probably new.
Let me go see if I can look back at older ones. Stand by.
In the meantime, they have been doing something that's been really yanking my chain.
Oh,
I'm gonna carefully phrase how I feel about this.
deep breaths. We're all friends.
Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
Maybe not a good angle of it this week. Is this
I
the best one?
mean,
I'm gonna grab that one from last week, I think. Let's see.
it's hard to tell if there are new holes drilled there. You'd have to count the holes from what you can see because they're somewhat visible. What is this? June 7th?
Yeah,
June
the
6th.
apex corner is obvious because
Yeah.
everything's nice and linear, and the new ones they added in look a little more rural.
I'd have to truly count the holes on the top deck plate to know if they actually drilled any more. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Okay, I'll start with this one. So yeah, basically, they needed to install a new pipe down here, which possibly liquid oxygen related, like the liquid oxygen return line, maybe, which is confusing because did they not have a liquid oxygen return line, Alex? I thought they did.
No, they never installed a vapor locked oxygen vapor line
to the
Off
tower.
the tower. No.
Yeah,
Because
they
they were
only
just going to vent all of it out of the
tower vent.
vent on the
yeah
level.
this has been was troubling me the entire time when I saw they only
Like,
put 3 in.
Why is this even here? Like, why didn't actually this is the methane? Well, that's this methane. This is LOX.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like with the updated pad design, you would think that would be one of the things you would do. I mean, I kind of get it because this is a faster as far as you're basically draining everything up here, and if you have to drain it all the way down there, then that just takes longer. That's a longer run of pipe that has to be drained.
You're doing a quench. You're not sending it through at full pressure.
I think what they're gonna do is they'll do the return line for everything else. The tower vent still stays because that close to T0 thing where they will dump out the LOX and methane for both the tower and the service structure. How they have those drain lines, they'll keep those for like just before T0 kind of drain, just to purge the lines for that final time right before launch. I think that'll stay, but I don't think that tower vent will run much at all anymore.
Find the angle I'm looking for.
For chill down.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So here's the part that kind of bothers me about this. I guess I'll just go back to this one since I can't find what I was looking for. It's just weird that they dug this out. They dug a little trench next here, and then now they're putting that pipe in there. Like it's just really confusing because like there should have been more than enough room in this trench to fit it. You can actually see that with these two pipes, they're kind of right up underneath these beams. But this one right here, there's space underneath that. So instead of putting it in that trench, they basically cut
another
through the
one.
wall
The amount of
and went around it.
the movement. I mean, the smaller one I think is the methane vapor return line, so that shouldn't move as much. But it's just they designed it and spaced it for the load that they had, and why I don't know.
Media at SpaceX. There you go. You can get your question answered.
Yes. Lol.
The only thing they need to do now is paint the back of the BQD hoods, which should have been stainless steel in the first place. But you know, why would you ever make that choice? But anyways, they'll have to finish off that line before they bring a booster out because, well, they can't put a booster at the pad until they do that.
Yeah, they just put a couple steel plates over that and drive that spin T over. I mean, they're already ready to weld that plate down to close that up.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that this is like a custom poured I don't know what the right way to explain this, but like they basically poured this little trench, but they had like over here, we can even see it from this far away, these trenches right here. And at first I was like, oh, maybe they put these in there, but I don't think they did.
I think they drilled into his existing trench and tied it. So it's basically a U and it's structurally joined to it. So
well, one thing's for sure, it's annoying. I hate it. And then now we got this coming out over here.
Don't talk about that end.
That's
that end.
It's like, why? Okay, you drilled it all the way to the end, but you're not going to go all the way to the end. So what the hell is the point?
And then you're blocking off access if you ever want to. Yeah. I think the issue is if they drilled through that wall, they might not have enough support for the beam across, and you're very close to the ladder.
Alex, do you know if this one's new?
No, that's the methane vapor return.
Okay.
Like this whole edition is.
But there is a new one down here, which is smaller than this though. So I'm kind of confused there. There's a new pipe they're working on down there, and then right here there's a new skid that they installed in here, which is probably all related to that.
That's part of the whole purging system. That's tying into the distribution. Could they added? Yeah, they added.
Here. Is it this one?
Yeah, that one's new. Where they ran a line from a month or so ago. BJ noticed from a fourth line of the same diameter as the pre-press lines, the 30 bar lines, which those larger diameter look like those are of that family. Yeah. That one's water line, I think, that you were just on, but yeah, the rest of them.
Yeah, and it looks like they're disconnecting some of these and
they're adding
them around.
Yeah, they're changing out one of those skids.
Yeah, they're putzing with the pre-press system, so that's also offline at the moment. So,
well, maybe that may be tower and not.
Yeah, it's
possibly.
Yeah, maybe it's tower and not booster, but it's hard to follow which one's which.
Yeah, the question is where this new one's going to go after this. Like, are they preparing to?
No,
here.
No, they've already ran it. It's probably connecting in. The only lines that are coming here are the liquid, and there should only be 4 lines that are coming into this pit from the tower.
Wait, so they have locked return for the launch mount, though, right?
So right.
This
it's going to tie. I'll tie in, just like the methane one. They'll tie in. So in here.
And that LOX return currently runs to the cannons, but you're
Yes.
thinking it's going to run to one of the new tanks that they're putting in, so they can return it.
Or have more room to boil it and off, because they're just venting it. It's hot. It's too much trouble.
You'd have to return it to a tank that's at atmospheric pressure, right? Or in a vacuum,
Yeah.
essentially, probably.
In atmosphere, so it's open to atmosphere, so you'd just be venting it in. You'd just be pouring it in.
So basically, you
That's
vent it
funny,
into the
though.
tank, and then you also you vent it in the tank, but you also vent the tank out. So you're just constantly circulating vent out of a tank, but you're using the tank as a medium to hold all the gas rather than trying to chuck it out through those cannon vents. Basically, is that what they're trying to do? Okay.
Yeah. And well, that's what they're doing with the cannons, because they have the large reservoir underneath that they're tied into.
They have so much LOX return that that's not enough, apparently.
It is. I mean, at some point, it's your vapor is right at saturation, so part of it's liquid, part of it's gas. So
basically, I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull up another image here. This whole lake of liquid oxygen that we saw is going to get even bigger, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I'm like looking through the Flight 12 images, trying to.
Yeah, because basically all the venting off the tower is now shunted back to the cannons. So, like,
I hate it.
That's a lot more LOX return.
So yeah, basically this little lake that forms here, this is small compared to the one that happened on Flight 12. This is the scrub day.
Yeah.
But yeah, sending all of that back there will be interesting, especially if that return line was sized specifically for the launch mount, and now you're increasing what you're putting through there. I wonder if that creates its own problems.
I mean, most of that's their bleed line, so they're using that primarily when they're dropping the pipes to when they're
pre-chill.
Yeah, they're quenching it down to cryogenic temperatures, so they're not going to be flowing it at the same rate when they're filling the vehicles. It's just one of those things where it's like.
Sorry, I'm trying to find an image that I was on.
It's gonna look hilarious with how much LOX vapor is coming out of those things whenever they do a wet dress next. Because with this change, they're gonna do another wet dress, I think. And it's only the second launch of Block 3, so
yeah,
I expect at least another wet dress. If not, at least a partial tanking test where they do a partial load, if anything, just to test out the new systems with chip before you launch again in the tower, because these are a decent amount of mods. They kind of have to test all of it.
Alex, have you looked at this at all? Do you know any ideas what's going on down here? Because I have an idea, but I want to see what your thoughts are.
Originally I thought it's just water treatment, but I haven't looked that closely.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Cinder block building.
Pump house.
pH, so you can adjust your pH.
Perhaps.
Yeah, pH adjustment basically for the water tank.
Yeah, so it's their pool house.
So are they? So would they basically be taking the stuff out of the pump station and treating it?
No,
inject.
Possibly, but more than likely, I think you need to, because the line coming from the municipal line is like down here, so it already has bypassed this building. But theoretically, I mean, when they reuse this water all the time from the tanks, it increases, lowers the pH.
Yeah, they need to buffer it.
Yeah, so because like basically you have what's the
you have it's you're
nitric
forming
acid.
yeah
nitric acid forming in the tanks, and it has to be, I guess, below the acidity has to be at a certain level, basically, and especially since it's being discharged. So theoretically, they should be treating this already because they continue to reuse that water sometimes two times a day. So they're dramatically changing the chemistry of the water every time they do that. So in my opinion, I'm hoping this is something they're already doing manually, but now they're going to have like a actual facility to do that. But that would require a return line from these tanks that basically would have to recirculate, or the better, easier way would be to dig this back out and send it to this building first, so it can be treated before.
Not like they haven't done that before.
No, never.
No, never. Okay, so yeah, you're thinking it'll be just to try to treat the water that they've already used so that they can, at least so it's a little bit more usable and not as damaging or annoyance to the rest of the systems or whatever, basically.
I don't think it creates a problem mechanically in any of these systems. I don't think, Alex.
Or is it environmental only?
It's environmental. It's environmental.
You don't want to spray acidic water into wetlands.
You have to. So the whole point is to try to make it more potable water, and just constantly reuse it. So they might make a system to recirculate the water in the tanks to try to keep it to a more potable state. And I say that with quotations, and just constantly reuse what they have, whether it's out of the trench or out of the pond.
Yeah, exactly. Something that should have been done from the very beginning, basically.
But yeah, something that should have been installed before they first started using it to begin with. But here we are.
Yeah, but like I said, I do think there's a chance they were already doing that somehow. There was at one point a few tanks that were over here, the frac tanks that were here, but I don't know what happened to them.
Maybe they're throwing those. What are those? What is it called? The little tablets. Well,
there's no access ports. I guess they could do it.
I don't know. Joke. Yeah, the things you take camping to make the water nicer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. they're just throwing buckets of that stuff in. Yeah.
Well, then that was one of the theories that Alex and I had when we were talking about this, was that could be part of the reason why they're using this as an offload point, because it allows them to treat the water in an open pond before they put it in there. But we've only seen them from the aerial view using it, I think, twice, maybe. So we haven't seen if they're actually treating it while it's in there.
Because, in theory, what you could do, right, is you could take a chemical to treat it, and you could route that to the pond, and any water that's in there, you just constantly recirculate it through the pond, and then once it's treated, you put it back into the tanks, right? You just use the pond for whatever it's worth, because it's not really that big, but right?
I mean, yeah, because to me, I guess they have to have stormwater collection, but the dual use of this is weird, because I think before they offload into here, they have to suck this out first, because that's disgusting back there, right? You don't want that in your water.
Yeah.
This looks like the reflecting pool.
Yeah,
anyway.
It's true though.
Yeah, so you got to suck all that out first before you offload it. So the trouble that they have to go through in order to do that, to be able to use it for offloading, to me means that they must. It's not all about volume as far as we can offload 8 tankers at a time instead of 3. I think it's about treating the water here.
Offload it, you sample it, you add in.
Yeah.
What your additives, and
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it's something they should have had a long time ago, but of course, no.
They aerate the water,
Yeah.
Put some cleaning agent.
What are environmental regulations? It doesn't mean anything to SpaceX.
I'm sure they care. They have to, because they get a lot of people coming after them.
They also have to care more now They're like, as a public company, you do actually have to really care more these days.
I mean, you at least need a line or two on your website stating
Right.
how you care,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
but
then a nice stock image from Getty
you,
of somebody, testing water or something of that. Oh, wait, I'm not
but
that cynical, am I? Yes,
poor
I am.
crane.
Is
Hey,
this new? Or this?
yeah, it's the parts are coming back from rehab. I mean, refurbishment.
Finally.
I'm going to be honest. Can I be entirely honest here? You sent out almost all. Why didn't you just send the whole thing? Like,
I'm
why didn't you
surprised.
just send the tracks and everything to get refurb? Why didn't you just send the whole thing to get
Well, what's wrong with
cleaned,
the
a
rest of
nice
it?
new coat of paint? Why not?
I mean, I'm guessing there's nothing wrong with the rest of it.
Well, I mean, if you're going to send the whole thing out and it's going to be gone for months, you might as well just clean the whole thing. I mean, that's how I look at it. I would have sent the whole thing out to get a nice new coat of paint, get it nice and
I mean, you can
clean,
do
and
that
then when
here.
you put it back together, it looks like new. But,
Yeah, or leave it. It just
yeah.
goes. No, we're confiscating this. You guys don't deserve such a fine, crane.
What is that?
I still think SpaceX needs to buy like at least a 12,500 or at least a 13,000 because, boy, the amount of pads and stuff they have to build. I think they need one of those. It's not like they don't have the money, right? Like, they've been buying up AI companies left, right, and center, and one of those cranes is a fraction of that price.
Yes, but why does an AI company need a crane?
A launch company needs a crane.
Launch is a very.
AI companies need a crane. You need cranes to build your AI data centers.
He contracts that out. I
Anyways,
mean,
they do have, I guess, one more thing that I almost forgot. It looks like they removed one of the gas generators earlier in the week. I think it was this one right here that was removed. They swapped it out.
Yeah.
Not the first time. I think I'm not 100% sure. I think all of these are new. Well, they were replaced before Flight 12, I think. But I won't go too deep into that right now. I'm pretty sure these are on like their second revision already.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it looks like that's back up and running. We did see a break. They were testing it pretty much every day for a while. We haven't seen one since the 22nd. So I do actually wonder if something happened during that last test. I'm gonna go back and look at footage, see if it's obvious that something happened back here. But yeah, certainly something that doesn't happen when you use a water tower, but there's very good reasons why they're not doing that. So
It'd be an impressive water tower, Zach. Come on.
yeah, for sure. I actually have a render of what it would look like, but I will save that until my next episode comes out.
I don't want to see it because unless it has a big clown face on the tank.
I think I can show it.
No,
you know
don't.
what? No, should I just wait?
Yes. I just want a giant water tank with a clown emoji as the water tank.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
if I show it now, then somebody's gonna screenshot it and put it on X or something like that. So
Yeah, it's no.
I wish I could trust y'all in the chat.
It's not the people in the chat. It's the people who come harvesting later.
True. Cool. Anything else from pad 2? What is this? More sheet wall.
Sheep piles, more sheep.
Why? Okay, sorry. I got distracted there. Anything else from pad 2?
I'm sure, but very esoteric, so we can pass.
Yeah. Cool. Indian Star, do we have any questions from the chat?
We do, and we have lots of donations as well. We want to thank Woodworker Don for his $10 donation. He was chipping in for our goal, which we reached thanks to Martin, who donated $9 in 3 different donations. We want to thank Stan for his $20 donation. He says thanks to everyone on the team. We also want to thank Wilbo, who donated £2 and says, love you guys. Zach, in my opinion, you're awesome. DMHMT donated $1.99. She, at the time, said getting close to the goal. And then we got another £5 donation from Wilbo. And we just got a $10 donation from Ron Smith, who says, what's more likely to be down in that pit, the Ninja Turtles or Super Mario? And then I have some questions for you guys.
Ninja Turtles, you asked a question.
Yeah.
Someone else said it would be the other ones because it's not a sewer. If it was a sewer, then it would be Ninja Turtles. Odin said that. He said Super Mario.
I mean,
Oh,
have you
go
seen the
down
water
there and-
inside there. Have you seen that water? Yeah, no, it's Ninja Turtles.
Legionnaires.
All right. And then Meg Weaver said, did anyone see the mini excavator in the flame trench at Pad A?
Yes, there's one. I think in Tuesday's photos, there's a little skid steer with a little jackhammer that was helping to crop some of the plethora of piles.
Who's a big
Once again,
kid?
they have the cropping machine right there, and they're not using it.
Yes.
No,
Literally,
they are
it's
not going
right-
to use it.
Earlier in the week, or it was at the end of the.
It's right here.
It was by the trench a few weeks ago, Zach. It was even worse.
Why would you use the tool for the job when you can just not use the right tool for the right job? Why?
Yeah,
Why would you
he
do
has
that?
a jackhammer, right?
Yeah. And they had a little skid steer, I think, on Tuesdays, but there's one in the trench.
You do not use the right tool for the right job. That's not how it works, Zach. Remember this. It's not how it works.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it depends on what your definition of the right tool is. And Scat, that leads us to Scat's question, who wanted to know if we've seen the pile croppers yet. So the answer is yes, we have.
We've seen it.
They're not being used for what it's supposed to be used for.
Maybe if it was a star cropper, they'd use it.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Sorry.
Can I'm just gonna say this? Can they shut up and stop? Seriously,
No.
Seriously,
It's not an option, Webby.
It is the dumbest thing ever.
Not an option, Webby. We got to keep with the theme. This from Indian Star. Therefore, they got to keep with the theme.
I mean,
she has a star in her name. You have to listen to her.
Oh God.
SJMK1 wants to know. Done deal. SJMK1 says, if the best part is no part, why have a dual exit flame trench with a ridge cap when a single exit trench would need one at all?
You need the deflector surface, and unless they, what they were originally building for the
ramp.
Yes. Essentially, it looked like Dennis. Yeah.
That'd have been fun.
Okay. Crane Man wants to know, is one of the walls housing a pipe looking at the shape of the flanges? When we were looking at the walls that they were putting together here.
No, there's.
Wait, we're talking about these?
Or
no,
I
the
thought
walls that they were putting together in
the
sections.
speed core.
Oh, sorry.
Those on the left. Yeah, those ones.
And what was the question again?
If one is, there's one piece that has the squared off and there's a hole in it, but they're using a piece of plate steel to join the two sides together. It was up and to the right. I don't know if it even would be visible in this frame.
Yeah, his question was, is one of the walls housing a pipe looking at the shape of the flanges?
Are you talking about down here, how it has the curve?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what he was referring to. But yeah, they're just using those to join the two sides together. It's a nice little arch shape.
Drew Nar's wondering, is there a manual override for the Drawworks, like a pull chain on an overhead door?
Not like that. It's like just automated controls, but like you gotta
On site.
like an elevator. You push the button and it brings it down. Instead of the actual control system that connects back to the launch control room. So it's a manual. When I say manual, it's still automated. It's just you have to come out to the site to do it instead of doing it from the control room.
It'd be funny if Manuel was going there with a joystick. Hook up a Logitech joystick and lower the.
Nah, an old NES. Come on.
Oh yeah, yeah, like an N64 controller or something.
Oh, even better.
There you go.
You
Yeah,
would have loved the
that's-
conversation in chat. Junar's also wondering, maybe the pad avoidance maneuver got the one corner of the OLM a little warm? Question mark.
I hate that term. Please make it go away. Please make it go away. Gravity turn isn't a tower avoidance.
I'll just say this, and I know they are they're still figuring out how where all the deluge needs to go exactly. Simulations only tell you so much. As we've seen with the new plates that were over in Sanchez, they've already changed the pole layout. So they're learning. It's basically that simple.
Six String Simpleton is wondering, is the retention pond still being tanked out?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Wait, like
Yeah, no.
he means like a vac truck?
Like the Movax. I think he means the Movax. Like
Yeah,
the
they
Movax
come
coming in
every now
and
and then. Usually after storms.
Yeah, they pump out the stormwater and all the muck that builds up.
Yeah.
Corporal's wondering,
Takes
why
it.
do they fill... Corporal's wondering, why do they fill the pipes up all the way to the ground level? Wouldn't it save some time concrete breaking when digging it up again?
The most of the piles, when they set the cage height, the concrete above it isn't filled with rebar cages, so it's very easy to break. But when you're chiseling down through 30 feet, 10 meters of structurally reinforced concrete, it takes a lot more effort. And it's easier for them when they set it to just fill the hole to the top with grout rather than having to go back in and then fill it with some sort of slurry. Because you can't have an unsupported hole that's 30 feet deep.
Giggity.
Ribby's wondering, does it seem like Pad 1 has a lot less groundwater problem than Pad 2?
They're doing a whole different techniques there for managing the groundwater.
A better one, put that way.
Yeah.
So same amount of water, just better ways of mitigating it.
I mean, they have the dual sheet pile cofferdams essentially, and then they dug it out and they recompacted it after they tied the two walls together, the two sheet pile walls together. So they're not actively pumping it with a dewatering system like they were doing at Pad 2.
All right. We want to thank Turtle Sanctuary for his $20 donation. And he says he's still hopeful he can find my RGV your other left shirt in the shop. Matt's working on that one. About the ASU, Obelisk is wondering, how is the ASU being hardened against Pad 1 launch shockwaves and debris?
Primarily distance, except like the compressor halls, and they built with reinforced concrete curtain walls. They have the massive struts tying the cold box and the cold box sections back to different structures. So they are bracing it. There aren't a lot of ASUs that you're going to see that are braced like that, unless you're in a very typhoon or hurricane rich area.
And then Nate the Great had a question. It was a late request question for Massey's. He's wondering, why do you think Ship 40 only did a single static fire at Massey's? Could it just be that SpaceX is being careful for Flight 13? Love all the work everyone does here. Keep it up.
No idea. I'm hoping that it comes out for another one, but we'll have to see if that ends up happening.
And
Yeah,
SJMK1
maybe
is
I have an
asked,
idea. Maybe because they just finished doing repairs on the. Okay, it's not on my list anymore. They just finished doing some patches on the walls. Maybe the patches weren't fully cured yet, and instead of driving the presidential limo over it, they decided to wait for it to cure, and yeah, give it a few more days before they do a 6-engine test on it.
right on. And we want to thank Wilbo for his £5 donation. And he says he's going to continue to challenge your comments when you say, in my opinion. But he feels like RGV has secured their place within the space media. And other than that, we've now reached our donation threshold, or target, which was 20. So we've actually had more than 20 donations, and we appreciate all of your generosity and all of your questions. And thank you so much for being in chat.
Awesome.
And that's all.
Thank you, everyone. I think we've just about covered everything today. Obviously, there's more areas that we haven't gotten to that will be covered in the Starbase Expanded show on Tuesday. So if y'all want to see all those areas that we didn't get a chance to, or I think there's ground images too that are related to that one as well. So lots to go through on the Tuesday show. So make sure to tune in for that if y'all would like to see that.
It's a very serious show,
Sorry,
too. Joking.
Making sure I didn't forget anything. Yeah, with that, I guess thanks for joining us today. I will possibly see y'all next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on next week or not. Kind of depends if I'm recording or not. But we will see. In the meantime, I will catch you all on the next time. Oh, yeah, I'll pass this up to whoever wants it.
Thanks, everyone, for joining. And thank you, Zach, Matt, RGV. Who else? Indy, probably. Ryan. Sorry, Indy.
Wow.
I couldn't help it.
Wow.
I couldn't help it, Ryan. You know me. I'm being smart at. Yes.
Yeah. And thanks for having me on. It's always fun to get on here, talk Starship, and especially hang out with everyone here. So pleasure as always.
And you can be chopped liver for the afternoon too. So
yeah.
Every day, all day.
Yeah, Alex said certainly and also least Ryan.
Nice.
All
and
right.
don't forget the bus driver, Matt.
Honk, honk.
Seriously.
So, yeah, that wraps up our weekly show. And as Zach said, be sure to check in for the Tuesday Expanded show where we go over all the little intricacies and details that we don't hit in the weekly, as well as some of the off-site locations like the Brown Lot and Rio West and the Ad Astra School and a whole bunch of others. We talk about land swaps and permits and all kinds of fun stuff. So be sure to see that. It is on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Central. So we look forward to having you there. I will be hosting that, as well as Alex will be with me. And we will have event dudes as well. So definitely packed with some pretty smart minds as far as all these locations and events that happen over there.
Wait. Oh, okay. Dudes is there. You said smart people. So I was worried. Worried for a second.
And we do not have a schedule for this coming week's flyover just yet, but be sure to tune to the Discord channel to be up to date on that. We should be releasing that in the next couple days. And as always, we will have our normal weekly, as we do always, on Sunday. So until then, most engines cut off, hot staging confirmed. Love you, bye.